Emotions will be running at an all-time high as Colorado battles Oklahoma in today's Big 12 matchup. The Sooners, ranked 22nd in the BCS standings, will be without the talents of OU superstar Adrian Peterson. So, it's gut check time for the Big Red. The Buffaloes are fired up after stomping on Texas Tech, so the Stampede can't wait to rush into Oklahoma territory. Can the home team step it up another notch? Will this be the game that turns the Colorado season around? A Big 12 showdown. Colorado against the 22nd BCS-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. It'll be a wild time in Norman tonight.
Late in last week's game, the entire season changed for the Oklahoma Sooners. Running back Adrian Peterson breaking his collarbone on this score, his 40th career touchdown. So now an opportunity for a pair of junior tailbacks, Jacob Gutierrez and Alan Patrick. From Gaylord Memorial, Oklahoma Stadium in Norman, Big 12 football presented by Kia Serra. And today, the Buffaloes of Colorado on the road taking on the 22nd ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers alongside Dave Lapham. Welcome once again. Second straight week for us here in Norman. Well, a period of transition, definite adjustment this week for the Oklahoma Sooners. It will shock your system when you lose a running back like Adrian Peterson. So now we find out how deep they are at the tailback spot here in Norman.
And I think they are. This is Oklahoma. I mean, they've got tailbacks. There's no question about it. Now, Adrian Peterson, these are extra large shoes to fill. 39% of the total offense, Adrian Peterson. That's a huge number. And he's responsible for a big part of the scoring as well for his football team. But I think Alan Patrick will get the job done. This guy was Player of the Year in South Carolina when he was a senior in high school. And the hit that he makes right here covering the kickoff shows his physicality. And he is going to be a downhill runner. This kid runs a 4.45 40. He has a 37.5-inch vertical jump. He will be decisive at the line of scrimmage, run downhill, and get after people. I think he's going to be fine.
Buffaloes of Colorado finally got their first win of the year last week at home over Texas Tech, and they've been impressive all year long on the defensive side of the football. Easily could be 4-3. The question marks, what can they do offensively, especially on the road?
Well, they hung 30 points on the board against Texas Tech. I think they're going to generate a little confidence from that. And Bernard Jackson, this offense has been tailored to what he can do. I mean, he brings a little spark. He brings a little energy to this offense. He can run the football with the best of them. Will he be able to throw it? That's going to be the big key. And Hugh Charles, this kid has got sprinter speed, intimidating speed. I mean, he went over for 1,000 yards last year, over 100 last week against Texas Tech. He has to be a little bit more decisive in his running ability and hit it up in there.
Well, big games for pair of defensive backs, one for each side. For Colorado, Big 12 co-player of the week defensively. That's Ryan Walters, 2 picks, and Darian Williams for Oklahoma. He had 2 sacks for the Sooners last week. We are just about ready to go from Norman. But first, when we come back, Mike Goldberg and the crew in the studio. You're watching Big 12 football presented by Kia Serra on FSN.
Welcome into our College Football Saturday studios in Los Angeles. Mike Goldberg, DeMarco Farr, Billy Ray Smith. Hey, we're going to get to a great game in the Big 12, but there was a great game played earlier today. Number 9, Texas. Number 17, Nebraska. Fourth quarter, Huskers down by 5.
Martin Lucky on the pitch, and Martin Lucky is feeling lucky. How about a halfback pass, no safety in the vicinity, touchdown, Nebraska.
DeMarco, this was Nebraska's game to win. Game on the line, get out the fix. He coughed it up. Texas has a shot. Oh my God, Big 12 shocker. With the fumble. Sets up the game-winning field goal by not Greg Johnson, but freshman walk-on kicker Ryan Bailey. And Texas prevails. All right, here we go. We've got Oklahoma, and their defense needs to step up without Adrian Peterson as well.
I love OU's defense. Big, strong, fast. Stats don't tell the whole story. Since they were absolutely gutted versus Oregon, they have been lights out since then.
Well, I'll tell you, they're still struggling a little bit as far as the run defense goes, and that's exactly what Dan Hawkins needs to see. Now, normally, you expect an air circus with Dan Hawkins. It's not that way at Colorado. They simplified things. They got to run the football, and they do.
He's looking for Jared Zabransky still and some of that blue turf.
That's exactly
They'll import some of that blue turf, obviously, at one point to Boulder, Colorado. Colorado looking for their second win in the Hawkins era against number 22 Oklahoma. Joel Myers and Dave Lapham have the call. Enjoy the first half. We'll see you back at halftime, everybody.
College football Saturday, all presented by Kia Sarah, and here come the Sooners on their home field. 4-2, even in conference play. Joel Myers, along with Dave Lattman, just a minute ago. Third member of our team got together with Adrian Peterson. Let's join Jim Knox.
All right, Adrian Peterson with us out 4 to 6 weeks. Is that right, Adrian, with a broken collarbone? When do you think you'll be back? Could you be back for a bowl game?
Yeah, just see how everything, go, and a bowl game is possible. Just see how fast the bone go back or whatever, and just see how things roll out.
All right, give us a scouting report on your replacement tonight, Alan Patrick.
Well, Alan Patrick, he's a great running back. Got faith in him. They're gonna go out there and get it done. Backed up by Gook. The guys can go out there and get it done. You work hard in practice. I see what they can do. They, don't really have the opportunity, but now, put out there in position, I think they're gonna get it done.
You probably can still get it done with one arm, couldn't you?
Yeah,
All right, speedy healing. Thank you very much, Adrian, for the time. Thanks.
Yeah, all of a sudden, but 10-11 this morning, it was 70 and sunny.
Right.
Wind came out of the north in a hurry, and at 24 miles an hour, it's going to impact the kicking game, the passing game, as Garrett Hartley is going to kick it away, and here we go. Downwind, it shouldn't be brought back, and it will be over the head of Byron Ellis. So we are underway in Norman, Oklahoma, and let's see if the Sooners do adjust well. Life after Adrian Peterson could be back realistically for a bowl game. Maybe the Bedlam series, that may be stretching it a bit, that last game Thanksgiving weekend. Bernard Jackson getting the call. Now, Davies got to keep modest because right now they're 115th in passing in the nation. There's 117 Division 1A teams, and when I see keep modest, don't let him stack it against the run.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what Bernard Jackson does best. That's what he feels most comfortable with. And they'll probably try to get him out of pocket, get him on the edges a little bit, and emphasize that ability with his feet.
And on first down, not much available for Hugh Charles past the 22. Brought down by Corey Bennett, the underneath tackle. Offensive line. Well, there's experience up there. They did lose their best, though. The center, Mark Fenton, first team All Big 12er last year. Columbus Daniels, McMartin, Sanders, and Edwin Harrison, the junior, his second season as a starter, the Houston native, over on the right side. Charles in the backfield with Cantrell, a guy converted linebacker, an inside backer from last year. Wide receivers, well, they got Sprague, also Crawford, the tight end. DeVries starts, but Ryer Gear is their big play receiver out of that position. He likes to call his own number, Bernard Jackson, and he's got it only to the 25-yard line, but he averages a little over 50 yards a game on the ground, so he does not mind calling his own plays. Defensively, yeah, this is a good defense, as DeMarco Farr said, getting better all the time in their 4-3. Latimer in the middle, Alexander and Pleasant flanking him. We'll get to the front four as well. Holmes and Walker on the corners, and Darian Williams, Reggie Smith. Safeties are doing a good job, real strong. In fact, over the last 3 games, this defensive unit has only given up 180-plus yards per contest.
That's after giving up 508 against Oregon.
On the move, the deflection, and almost in the middle of the field. Could have been picked off for Lewis Baker. So 3 and out. The last thing they wanted. Ran deep in their own territory.
And that's what everybody has to do. Everybody do a little bit. Everybody expand their roles a little bit. And that's just getting up and knocking the ball, just spiking it right down to the turf like a volleyball player. Zach Latimer just getting airborne and taking the ball right down to the turf. And if everybody does little, nobody has to do a lot, because Adrian Peterson had been doing a lot. Everybody just pick up some slack.
Reggie Smith waits back. He's had a 62-yard punt return against Washington, a 55-yard kick return. Galalo will get into it. You saw his numbers. And into the wind. Not a bad one at all. And it's lost. Loose ball picked up by Oklahoma. And what a job by Holmes to help out. That was a break. It was right off the chest of Smith. So almost a disaster to start the game.
Yeah, they had his shoulder pads up, and ball bounced right off his chest fortuitously to Holmes. And he was Johnny on the spot for that one, giving the Sooners good field position for their opening drive.
So Oklahoma's going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 39. They'll come out quickly. And former wide receiver took over the quarterback job August 3rd. Paul Thompson, senior from Leander, Texas. He's been very efficient, 2-to-1 in his touchdown to interception ratio. And Patrick cracked for about 3 on his first carry in his first career start. And our Kia Sarah starting 11, as we just saw the quarterback, Messner, Robinson, Cooper, Walker,
And Braxton up front, a sophomore from Youngstown, Ohio. Patrick getting the call. We'll also see Gutierrez, Eldridge, and Kelly. For the Iglesias, the skills with Joe John Finley, who had a couple of big grabs last week against Iowa State, the tight end. 2nd and 7 from the 42. Read it, and Patrick does. Very effectively into the secondary on a little toss, Dave, where he can pick his own hole.
That was a nice job up front by the offensive line. Brandon Braxton, the big tackle, trapping, and just an outstanding job of getting the trap block. And watch the big horse on the right side take it on the trap block. He does a great job with it. Excellent.
So first down to the Colorado 46. Colorado on the road can't deal with early deficits. A lot of adversity because they can't play catch-up football. They do not score a lot of points. They're dead last offensively in scoring in the Big 12. Thompson wide open, but off the fingertips of Eldridge, his fullback, the redshirt freshman from Kansas. Defensively on our Kyocera starting 11 for Colorado. This group, as you look at them, they are 9th best in the nation against the run. Abraham Wright, their left end, is 2nd in the nation in sacks. Dies on Washington. They've got experience with the linebackers spot, as well as at the corner with Washington and Terrence Wheatley at the right corner, the junior from Richardson, Texas, who tied for the Big 12 lead with 4 interceptions coming in today. Now it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 46 of the Buffaloes. Patrick stopping on a dime for a first down. Little misdirection, and he's got a dozen on the carry. Brought down to the secondary by Wheatley.
You know, the coverage not going to be bare at Oklahoma with a team as good as the Sooners football team is. There's going to be other running backs. A nice job up front. Everybody gets a hat on a hat and just covers people up. And then it's off to the races, and very, very decisive. A nice block at the linebacker level, the 2nd level. And Alan Patrick just saying, I could have taken that one even a little bit further. He gets north and south in a hurry, though.
Patrick goes at 6', 190, a junior from Conway, South Carolina. Thompson throwing on first down, and a low one away, and a good grab. Going down to get it, Malcolm Kelly. And will they say he caught it? Yes, for a gain of 9 to the 25.
Showing a nice mix, running the football and throwing the football. Kevin Wilson, offensive coordinator. He's trying to keep Colorado off balance, and boy, the ground helped that one. The ball hit the ground. He fell on top of the football. I don't know if this one will be challenged or reviewed or what, but definitely that was an incomplete pass.
Usually it comes from the booth where they call downstairs and say throw the flag. You only get one challenge a game though. That's part of the mindset. Patrick bounced around. Had a short game, but enough for the first down. On 2nd and a yard, he got it down to the 22 for a gain of 3. Brought down to the strong side backer Brad Jones. Keys coming in, Dave.
Well, Oklahoma, they want to get off to a good start. There's no question about it, and they're doing that. But everybody has to expand their roles a little bit. When you lose a guy the caliber of Adrian Peterson, everybody else has to step up and down the line of scrimmage on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They're 3-0 when they score first. They want to get off to a good start, not give Colorado any kind of confidence built on last week's victory. And then they want to contain Jackson. And that's in the run and the pass. He is the dynamic offensive leader for the Buffaloes.
Thompson behind his intended target. So he's trying to get it to Jermaine Gresham. He's trying to get a number of people involved with touches early. You can see that, the true freshman from Ardmore, Oklahoma. It started back at the 39. It's a 2nd and 10 now for the Sooners, all the way down to the Buffaloes 23.
And this is an area coming up in an area where Colorado has struggled during the course of the year is the red zone. Bob Stoops is aware of that, obviously. Colorado has had trouble stopping people in the red zone, keeping them out of the end zone, as well as getting the ball into the end zone themselves, although they did good in both areas last week against Texas Tech.
Drive has consumed just about 5 minutes on the clock. Same play, other side. Patrick, not much available. Same they ran over to the left side earlier in the drive, Dave. And it's a gain inside the 20, close to the 19. Dizon, the weak side backer, the junior from Hawaii, who leads Colorado coming in tackles, makes that hit.
Well, you mentioned Colorado's only given up 77 yards a game on the ground, number 9, 2.5 per carry, 10th best in the country. So they're very efficient against the run. They haven't faced a team that will commit themselves to the run as much as Oklahoma has. They have played teams like Baylor, Texas Tech, Missouri that run that spread offense.
And now key third down for the Colorado defense early. 3rd and 6. Thompson, lane to throw. He's got Kelly. He's got a 1st and goal close to the 5. Boy, the pocket protection so he could see downfield.
Yeah, he had great lanes. His vision totally unimpeded. And Kelly did a good job of coming back to the football. You know, you don't wait for the football. You come back to it. And, boy, they're just wide open lane to throw the football to. And then get your shoulder pad squared back up and get toward the goal line. So now Oklahoma finds themselves in a 1st and goal situation on their first drive of the game. That first drive for Colorado was the first 3-and-out drive they've had to open a game all year long.
Yeah, they've been a pass starting team. Patrick, big hole, spins, and then he pays for it as they stack them at the 3.
Yeah, Colorado offensively on opening drives, 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and a 26-yard field goal blocked by Georgia on the opening drive. They've been very, very efficient. Oklahoma got on 1, 2, 3 and out, got good field position, then went on a long drive themselves.
Alan Patrick looking for his first touchdown as a Sooner. It's at the 3. He's in the eye. Slide, Joe John Finley, the tight end. Patrick, and it was available right. He went up the middle, and he loses a yard. He's pushed back to the 4. It'll be 3rd and goal from there.
Well, Oklahoma came out with their 3 tight end package, just trying to muscle Colorado between the hash marks and just nothing but old smash mouth football. And I tell you, Kevin Wilson wants to get his offensive line shoulder pads anchored as well as Alan Patrick. Everything that they're running is very much downhill. So some counter action, but it's all between the tackles. Nothing very much has been bounced to the outside.
Remember, if Oklahoma's throwing the football, it's going to be downwind today with a 24-mile-an-hour wind, and they are working with the wind at their back.
That was Kevin Wilson to the left up in that box, offensive coordinator.
Corner, Thompson, touchdown, Oklahoma, and Manuel Johnson.
Great start for the Sooners offensively. A nice mix of run and pass. Thompson, very, very efficient throwing the football. The offensive line did a nice job in pass protection as well as run blocking. And you just have a size mismatch. I mean, the Oklahoma wide receivers have some size. In Colorado, Terrence Wheatley, who's the best cover guy, unavailable to make a play on that one.
Hartley, who's been almost perfect all year long, punches it through for the extra point. He's only missed 1 field goal this year. He's presented 2nd best in the nation at that as well. So what a start for the Sooners. They hang on to the football. Better than 7 minutes. So they're on top, the Sooners, by 7. Successful beginning for the Oklahoma Sooners, and on a chilly day, I don't know if I'd use that, but I definitely cover my head. Dodge scoring drive, 12, covering 61 yards, a little more than 5 minutes off the clock.
Nice ball control right there. Nice mix of run and pass called by offensive coordinator Kevin Wilson and executed by his troops.
Well, Hartley again has the wind at his back, and we showed you what it was. Its actual temperature 45, 46 degrees, but wind chill puts it at 37, 38 degrees. So, boy, we were here last week. It was summertime conditions.
It was.
A difference in 7 days, and it is chilly outside. Downwind. It'll be out of the end zone. And it gives us a chance to head back to the studio with Mike Goldberg for a Dr. Pepper game break. Mike.
Let's head to Rocky Top. Number 11 Tennessee hosting Alabama. 13-9 tied. 3.5 minutes remaining. Arian Foster finds the end zone for the Volunteers, and Tennessee avoids the upset. They win at home 16-13. Back to you guys in Norman. Go.
Not that easy. Not that easy, as Mike tells us, for the number 11 team of the nation, the Volunteers of Tennessee, in a bounce-back season so far for Phil Fulmer's squad.
The SEC is pretty tough, boy. There's some good football teams in the SEC this season.
Colorado for the 2nd consecutive time to start the game. Begins at their own 20. Little misdirection. Jackson has room to roam, and he can get a first down. He will. He'll run out of bounds with a gain of 11 out to the 31-yard line. So all the flow our way, Jackson the other way.
And that's where he feels most comfortable, is getting him out of pocket and putting pressure on the edge.
On the Raiders' 29-yard line, play action. B-Jack sets up, rears back, rifles it downfield, wide open in the end.
That was last week. last week. It meant a lot to the Buffaloes, and especially to Dan Hawkins to get that win at home and get that huge one off his back day.
And I'll tell you, that was a happy young man. Bernard Jackson carried off the field on everybody's shoulders, the conquering hero. And you saw that he threw the football pretty well last week against Texas Tech to balance up his ability with his feet.
Dead ball foul. As they wanted to run Charles, it'll be a false start on the offense.
False start on the offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And when Harrison out of Westbury High School in Houston, a junior, his second season starting on the offensive line for the Colorado Buffaloes.
You know, you look at Colorado, they're doing some things right. I mean, they're +6 in the turnover department. That's 16th best in the country. They're not overly penalized. The two areas where they're having their biggest problems is on third down and in the red zone. And those are two big areas where somebody has to make plays. And they just haven't had enough plays made.
Out of the gun, Jackson wanted to run it himself. Pinched on the side, and a great play by Curtis Lofton, as well as Thibodeau, the senior from Houston, second team all Big 12er last year, but Lofton in there as well, strong side backer.
Well, when you get off schedule, when it's 1st and 15, and you get tackled for loss to boot, now you find yourself in a real tough situation. There's not many good plays 2nd and about 20, particularly when you're one-dimensional offensively. I mean, Colorado running the ball for over 167 yards a game, but that passing attack they've struggled with.
You know, those Davis band uniforms look really warm. On 2nd and long, Charles dropped after a gain of only a yard and a half to the 24. On his back, Rufus Alexander, the weak side linebacker, a senior from Baton Rouge.
And this is where you don't want to be against this Oklahoma defense, because they bring pressure from all over the place. I mean, both sides of the football field and in all directions. They get after you. And when you're 3rd and long like this and this far off schedule, you're playing right into their Oklahoma defense's hands.
So now 3rd and long. This is the least likely scenario for Colorado today to be successful. They run Sprague in motion. Jackson. Here comes the heat. He'll scramble, but he won't get there. And shoved out of bounds, and will there be a flag late on Lewis Baker, the outside back of the junior from Carrollton, Texas. A little shove once they get to the chalk.
Yeah, continue to run over them as they're in that 5-yard zone out of bounds. Jackson's got some jackhammer feet, though. There's no question about it. He kind of gave himself up before he went out of bounds. That's his fault. You gotta make sure you get out of bounds full tilt. When you choke it down and you're in bounds, you're just leaving yourself vulnerable for that kind of hit that Baker delivered.
And as it turned out, it worked for Baker because he was not even close to out of bounds. He was still a yard in bounds when he relaxed.
Yeah, when he made the first hit because of the relaxation.
Yeah. Off the toe of Delalo. It's at the 45, stays away from Reggie Smith. And again, Oklahoma, they had it at the 39 the first time. Now they're going to have it on this homecoming weekend in Norman at the home 46 when we come back. Back to windy Oklahoma. Boy, the temperature and the wind, it can certainly change in this part of the country. There's a good reason the National Weather Center bases out of Norman, Oklahoma.
That's right.
On first down, little rollout action for Paul Thompson. And wide of Malcolm Kelly. On the run, never really got set.
Well, I thought he should have caught it. I thought that one was very catchable for him. I thought he should have squeezed the pig on that one. They change the launch point for Thompson. Gets out of pocket, delivers one right in his hands, and Malcolm Kelly just doesn't look it in, doesn't focus well enough. I think he was thinking about the first cut he was going to make before he secured the football.
And too often guys don't put their hands out. Let it get in.
Yeah, you can't let it get to your body because it hits those shoulder pads and it can make some crazy bounces.
So bad break for Thompson as he has started the game 3 for 6 for 25. Should be 4 for 6. Nothing there from Patrick. That misdirection didn't fool anybody. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 as Colorado and Hippolyte on top of the situation. The sophomore from Loyola High School in L.A.
A nice penetration by Brandon Nicholas, the defensive tackle as well. They did a nice job in the interior of the defensive line being disruptive.
So picking up their pace offensively to the line in a hurry is Paul Thompson. And they go the hurry up, but they're looking over to the sideline for the play call. Need a little more than 10. And will they waste this great field position? Here comes the late blitz over the middle and too tall for his intended target, Joaquin Iglesias, who had a case of the drops last week.
Dizon came on the blitz and did a pretty good job of getting the hit on Thompson, making him get rid of the football before he really wanted to. It was a delayed blitz, and Dizon just unimpeded pass to the quarterback. He faked like he was going to check the back out of the backfield and came on a delayed blitz and put the hit on Thompson. Pretty good job by Dizon.
And don't you like the way he timed his delay?
Yeah,
I mean, he disguised it well.
It was clever.
Stephon Robinson waiting back deep for the punt for Michael Cone. And Cone could get into this one. Now let's see if he can get into the sideline, because he's got that 20+ mile-an-hour wind at his back. A low wobbler over to the far side, not out of bounds inside the either the 20 or inside the 20, and this time at the 18. So Cone got the job done, the junior from Houston, and so far so good for the Sooners. Homecoming weekend in Norman with 4:32 to play in the first. Tomorrow, be here live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings. It's the official BCS rating show exclusively on FSN. And find out who's moving up, who's moving out, who's moving towards a berth in a BCS bowl game. That is the official BCS rating show presented by KFC. Tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Only on FSN. Joel Myers, Dave Lott, and Jim Knotts back in chilly Norman, Oklahoma. From the 18, Colorado down by 7. Gets it for the third time. And on the ground, fortunately, it's covered by the Buffaloes, but it got away from Patrick Williams, the wide receiver on DeSoto, Texas. So a loss on that play. Back to the 14. It'll be 2nd and 14. First down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com, where you'll find thousands of brand name products at savings of up to 70% every day of the week. That's Overstock.com. You like this weather, don't you, Lappin?
I do love it. This is good lineman weather right here, and this is not what Colorado wants to do. They're off schedule for the second consecutive drive.
Spinning around is Mel Holiday, his first carry, the senior from Omaha, transfer from Nebraska, and he's tripped up and spun around by Rufus Alexander.
And as we talked about, one thing that Colorado definitely wanted to do was do a good job on first and second down, avoid third and long, third and extra long, and it's not happening. They felt like they could really outrush Oklahoma, particularly with Adrian Peterson out of the mix. I mean, they're averaging 167 yards a game, and Oklahoma just over 170. And when they get in the red zone, don't settle for 3 points. Make sure you're punching in for a touchdown. They've only scored a touchdown 32% of the time in the red zone.
And on third and long, third and about 11. Yep, give up on the pass. Jackson won't get it with the run. He was slowed down from behind by Burdine, cleaning up Latimer and Alexander, the linebackers. So a punt coming up at first. A Dr. Pepper game break. Back to Mike Goldberg. Mike.
Well, Joel, game one of our doubleheader right here on FSN. A thriller in Berkeley. Number 10, Cal Washington in overtime. Marshawn Lynch will find the end zone. Cal picked off the pass to Washington's Carl Bonnell. DeMarco is upset, Dave Lapham, but Cal is not.
And what a finish in overtime, as you mentioned, because we were watching it up in our booth.
Yeah,
and that final play by Washington, they're trying. Well, they already beat UCLA. They're trying to spoil the hopes of Cal, but didn't get it done in Strawberry Canyon. You got to love Tightwad Hill in Berkeley. One of the great places to watch college football. In Cal. No, it's not a very pretty punt, and it's out at the 46. Our KFC Famous Bowls BCS rankings so far. Ohio State, USC, that's the way it looks. Kind of like last year a little bit. Texas not there, though.
Texas with a big win today against Nebraska. Tough win in Lincoln, and Michigan got it done today as well. So everybody kind of holding fort, so to speak.
The pressure now. They're about as mellow as we are up in the booth. Colorado has to try to stop at the 46, and it's Thompson breaking tackles for 9. So a very short field for Oklahoma and Paul Thompson. Dizon saved what could have been a much bigger play.
Delalo's had a hard time punting the football, and during the course of the season, he's been pretty good. In fact, he's 8th in the nation with an average punt of 44.8, but he gave great field position up here, and Paul Thompson Kevin Wilson hasn't called his number all that much running the football because they're thin at the quarterback position. If he gets hurt, they're in a little trouble. So that's rare to see him tuck it and run like that.
They bring up DeLallo, 3 for an average of 27, but don't forget, it's into a 25-mile-an-hour breeze. Patrick, whoa, what a collision. Serious pop at the 35. He's got the first down.
He's physical now.
Yeah,
he will get downhill.
Here's a guy who played well on specials for them. But what a stop. Jones was there for Colorado.
And this is nothing fancy. Here comes the guard with the little kick-out block, and Patrick just takes it up for everything he can to move the chains. You make a good point. When Patrick has to go to the tailback position, there's a trickle-down effect. He's not going to be covering all those kicks like he did on special teams. Somebody else has to step up and fill that role. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody has to expand their roles up and down the roster, special teams, offense, defense.
On a first down, Thompson with a play fake and out in the flat. What a shot out in the open. They're popping, aren't they? Well, it was taken in by Eldridge, and Thaddeus Washington laid it on him. Colorado, their defense, you can't say enough about what they've done this year.
Thaddeus Washington and Dizon are as good a linebacker duo as there is in the country, and they get after it. They're very, very active, and that's the big hitter. 5'11", 245, and he's a thumper, and he showed it right there. He brings something when he brings his pads and helmet to the game, I'll tell you.
He led Colorado in stops last year. Was honorable mention all Big 12. They thought he was at least going to be second team, so they were upset. Screen one way, go back the other way, and what a nifty move by the wide receiver Iglesias. It doesn't net anything. In fact, it's still a loss of 2. Looked a lot better than the net result. But Iglesias looked like he was going to be dropped for even more of a loss.
Yeah, he broke one tackle. He made one miss. And Oklahoma's got athletes. There's no question. I mean, Bob Stoops, if you lose a guy like Adrian Peterson, it's going to hurt. Of course it is. I mean, he's a great, great player, but they have a lot of other athletes on this roster.
Well, this season, Oklahoma is honoring memory of Prentice Gott. 50 years ago, Gott became the first African-American football player here at OU. An academic All-American, Gott went to become a college administrator, also an administrator in the Big 12 Conference. His jersey number 38 held off the roster this year in his honor. And the Student Academic Center named in his honor as well. A very emotional moment, Dave. A couple of years ago, we remember quite well in 2004.
He touched a lot of lives and touched them in a very, very positive way. Even though we lost him way, way too young, he did a lot in a very short period of time. And 38-yard lines right here, you see, red in his honor. Number 38 in the red, Prentice Gott.
So quite an impression left. His legacy will live on here at Oklahoma. And I remember growing up watching him in the NFL. He could play. He was a big-time player. Now, the decals have been there all season long at number 38 on the Oklahoma Sooner helmets.
There you can see it.
And they are going to be honoring, as we will pick up on some of it a little bit later with Jim Knox, all weekend long. And they had a big, big affair last night for the 50-year celebration of the 1956 National Championship team here at Oklahoma under Bud Wilkinson. It's going to be 3rd and 9 after the timeout. Thompson, pocket collapsing. Now can he get it on his own? No. Good close. And the defensive back did not bite on the fake after he was past the line. That's Gardner McKay, who stayed with the play, a kid out of Crenshaw High School in L.A.
Colorado's defense is very active. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of tackling, and it's not just one helmet to the ball out in space one-on-one. They really rally to the ball pretty darn well. They get a lot of gold helmets to the football every single play. There's no quitting that defensive unit. They played pretty consistently all year long.
But now we're going to have a timeout taken by Oklahoma to stop the clock and keep the wind at their back for the field goal try. Well, one of the Buffs' brightest victories in this series, it was back in 1995. Quarterback John Heisler starting in place of the injured right there, Coy Detmer. He set individual game school records, 5 touchdown tosses for John Heisler.
Right.
As John Heisler is recovering right now from a hit-and-run automobile accident and really making progress. It occurred back in October of 2003. In August, he visited right there with his old coach, Rick Neuheisel, and the man he replaced, Coy Detmer. First time he had boarded a plane, Dave. Boarded a plane by himself since the accident. So a nice comeback story for John Hessler, and he'll be remembered by Buffalo fans forever.
No question. You talk about dealing with adversity. I mean, you know, Coy Detmer came to Baltimore for that preseason game with the Eagles, and those three have a nice little reunion and dealing with adversity every single day of his life and doing it well.
46-yard field goal try by Hartley. It's bending, and he's got it inside the upright. So 3 on the board, and using the timeout to save the win to the back of the young man who's only missed 1 field goal all season long, and that was a block.
Exactly. He's been extremely, extremely consistent for Oklahoma.
Well, John Hessler has been a great deal to a lot of people, an inspiration to a lot of people, as we found out talking to Mason Crosby yesterday. Well, his legacy in the program and what he did that day, it still lives on with the guys.
It's great to whenever he comes out to games. I love seeing him on the sideline, and we know what a great guy he's been for CU football. And you know, whenever we take the field, and it's all that, you know, all the alumni, all the great players that have been here and worked hard, and you know, he has his name up there for, you know, he's done great things at CU, and we just, you know, want to honor him every time we step on the field.
And Mason Crosby, one of the best kickers, in my opinion, the best kicker in the country, talking about John Hessler, and keep fighting the good fight, John, because everybody associated with the Colorado football program and everybody in the country admires you very much.
And we hope, and we were told that John was going to be watching the game, so our well wishes for his continued recovery, as it's going to be kicked away by Hartley, and with the wind at his back, it's going to be deep into the end zone, out of the end zone. So that was the final play of the first, and 10 on the board. Could have been even more for Oklahoma, though, with the kind of field position they had. So when we come back, Colorado's going to have it for a 4th time offensively, but they're deep in their own territory. 3 out of the 4 times at the 20. Oklahoma, field position they have dominated, and they're on top of the scoreboard as well. 10-0. So you're watching Big 12 football, presented by Kyocera on FSN. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Joel Myers, Dave Lapp, Jim Knox starting the 2nd quarter. And nothing there for the running back. It's Mel Holliday again, the senior from Omaha, as he dives ahead for maybe a couple, and that is it. That's where it begins with the 2nd, and our USPS, United States Postal Service, Big 12 standings. We start with the North Division, and Missouri got help today. Texas helped them out, Dave.
Yeah, they sure did, and Missouri on a nice little run to start the season, 7-1 for the first time in many, many years.
And in the South, close wins for Baylor again today, winning by a point at home over Kansas, so they stay right there with Texas.
Number 2 in the South, the Baylor Bears.
The last time we've said that. Holiday banged around a little bit, straight up the gut. He goes to the 25. Dropped by Alexander. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Baylor Bears right now at 4-4. Guy Morris is within breathing room of a bowl game, and that would be huge for his program down there.
And he's won a couple of close games like this lately, but we did the TCU game.
Should've
we were down there.
One.
They killed themselves in the red zone.
They did.
And they lost another game early by a short one.
And they beat Colorado in triple overtime. That was a nice win for them, so they're starting to learn how to finish some of those games.
10-0 lead for Oklahoma over Colorado in the opening 90 seconds of the 2nd quarter. And another 3rd down, 3rd and 5. And Jackson throwing it wide of the intended target, a fastball for Patrick Williams, which wasn't close. So they have yet to pick up a 1st down against this OU defense. DeMarco Farr, Billy Ray Smith, Mike Goldberg. Right before we came back here, they were talking about the OU defense. Oklahoma's defense over the last 3 games, since they gave up 501 to Oregon, they've given up a total of 565 over the last 3. It's only 188 a game. That's strong.
It really is strong, and I feel badly right now for Colorado's defense. They're running around pretty well, but getting no support.
Low wobbler. Smith will stay away from it. Man, it's going to die. Take a Colorado roll, and a good one at that. All the way down to the 27. That's where Oklahoma's going to have it. Their deepest position to start a drive so far. The Sooners, though, in control, and they've got it back, leading by 10. They start him early here at Oklahoma. I love it. I think his name is Boomer, in fact. Well, next week, College Football Saturday returns. 2nd-ranked USC trying to keep their national title hopes alive. We're matching up the upset-minded Oregon State Beavers. It all starts 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. College Football Saturday, the kickoff show, all presented by Kia Sarah, right here on FSN. Yeah, it's back to Oklahoma. They've got it their own 27. And they're on top 2 minutes in to the second quarter. It's by 10. Could be worse for Colorado. Deflected and almost intercepted after the deflection. Good coverage. Backer Brad Jones there. And then it went over the hands of the defensive back on that side.
Well, Colorado's defense continues to play well. I mean, they're playing a lot of cover 2. They're keeping 2 safeties back in the middle of the football field. They're stopping the run with 7 in the box. And, you know, you got some good coverage as a result of that. And they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher all season long playing this cover 2. By that, I mean, look at the safeties. They're back there deep. They're not sinking one in the box. They're stopping the run with 7 guys.
Quarterback draw all the way. Man, Thompson's going nowhere as he ran up the back of his offensive lineman. Got him around the ankles. Jordan Dizon. We've already talked about him. Also, Thaddeus Washington. They are keyed. And we saw the strong side backer on that last snap. Brad Jones deflected where Wheatley, the D-back, almost came up with it. This is a solid group.
It is, and they tackle well. And when you play cover 2, you have to get tackling out of your cornerbacks, and you have to get tackle on the back end out of your secondary. And Coach Hawk's getting that out of his defensive football team. But, man, at some point in time, you have to get some support. They've already been on the football field a heck of a long time. You have to take some of the pressure off. At least get a first down, move the chains, let them stay and get some oxygen on the sideline a little bit.
So now 3rd and long, 3rd and a little bit more than 10 for Thompson. Deep in his own territory, out of the gun. Shallow cross. Kelly won't get there, though, I don't think. And no. Good open field tackle to the secondary by Terry Washington, the young man. He was a Dutchman out of Cleveland High School in St. Louis. And did they take the ball away? No.
Well, on 3rd and long, when they get Oklahoma on 3rd and long, they just played everybody. They had 7 people back at least 10 yards. The linebackers were back 10 yards, as well as the secondary back more than that, and keep everything in front of you and close on the football. Let them catch it underneath.
Get it inbounds. We were blocked out on this side, Dave, but Dizon came up with it after it was taken away from Kelly. So Colorado gets their first break of the game. Dizon, well, we talked about how active he is. Well, Colorado has had 13 snaps offensively. 11 of those 13 have been carries. They've been on the ground. Now they've got it to the 28. Jackson throwing, and you can see why they like to run the football. As it's time once again for a Dr. Pepper game break. Let's check in with Mike Goldberg.
Hey, Joel, NCAA history today in Evanston, Illinois. Michigan State at Northwestern. Brett Swenson of the Spartans kicks this 28-yard field goal as the Spartans overcome a 35-point deficit, the largest comeback in Division I history, winning at Northwestern 41-38.
Well, those are 2 beleaguered coaches to begin with, Pat Fitzgerald and John L. Smith.
Well, it's going to be too little too late for John L. Smith. They were staggered after that Notre Dame loss.
Shift the tight end to the wide side of the field. Top heavy on that side. Nothing doing for the running back on that snap. Hugh Charles, they have not been able to get him off at all. The junior from Keller, Texas, a sprinter. He's a track guy. They want him to be a more physical, aggressive guy, but when you don't have a hole with a flag down in the play, it's tough.
It's very tough.
Face mask against the defense.
That'll help.
5-yard penalty and to the end of the run.
That's a big play for Colorado.
It's not an automatic first down. It wasn't of the personal foul variety. It was the unintentional. Just a 5-yard and let it go. It wasn't grab it and hold on and pull it. It's not 15-yard and automatic first down. But now Colorado right now is +7 on the season, their turnover department. +7. And so +6 coming into today's game. They were 16th in the country. But they can't convert on 3rd down, and they can't score in the red zone. Those are 2 huge problems.
Shot of Dan Hawkins on the sideline, their first-year head coach, who started 0-6 before winning last week at home against Texas Tech. Now, Charles trying to bend it to the boundary. Nowhere to go. Bring them back on a loss all the way back to the 27-yard line.
Well, they find themselves in the down and distance that they didn't want to be in once again. It seems like every drive, Colorado has found themselves in 3rd and long or 3rd and extra long. And one of their big goals of the day was to compete on 1st and 2nd down so they can stay manageable in 3rd down situations. And a lot of these against this Oklahoma defense, when you're 3rd in a bunch, that's when they get real crazy with their packages. And they bring pressure from everywhere. And that's what Colorado's facing right now, if Oklahoma chooses to do it.
So it'll be 3rd and 9. They convert. Drive is alive. Otherwise, we're going to see Mason Crosby try one hit downwind. Jackson hits it, and it's intercepted. What a play by the linebacker, Zach Latimer. He saw it all the way. The middle linebacker has the interception.
Well, they came on a safety blitz. Nick Harris made the hit. And when Nick Harris made the hit, he popped the ball airborne. And then Latimer followed up with the finalization of the interception. So now it's even Steven in the turnover department. Watch Latimer's response. There's Nick Harris. He's going to get the hit. And he gets the hit on the quarterback, and the ball goes airborne, and Latimer scoops it up. Harris is the one that makes B-Jack just put the ball straight up in the air. Ran right through him. Great blitz by the safety, Harris.
But a toss to Patrick that worked so well on the first couple of series. This time, though, it is brought down immediately. It was the end, Walter Boydoy, the defensive end out of Keller, Texas, in his first year as a starter, and he read it perfectly.
Well, that's why you don't want to find yourself in those third and a bunch, because Oklahoma can come with the pressure packages like they just did that caused that turnover. So if Colorado doesn't do a little bit better job, or a lot better job, I should say, on first and second down, it could be a long day at the office for their offense.
Now Oklahoma comes in 4 straight wins over Colorado. But between 89 and 99, it was 8-0-1 as weaving his way out of the backfield as Patrick across the 30 to the 35, dumped in the secondary. So at one point, Colorado owned the Oklahoma Sooners. Now Oklahoma's turned things around, at least over the last 4 games in the series. First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. When you order a big screen TV or a comfy leather chair, it all ships for only $2.95. Shop and save at Overstock.com. 6 minutes gone by in the second. Man, it's going to be third and long still. Third and about 7 from the 35. So can they keep the drive alive after the takeaway? Pocket holding up well. Thompson, ton of time, and off the hands of his tight end, Joe John Finley, and he was right beyond the marker. Would have been enough for the first down by a couple of yards.
Both defenses are settling in now. I mean, Colorado forces a takeaway. Oklahoma with sudden change their responses, take it right back by forcing the quarterback to throw an interception off the safety blitz. And then Colorado says, okay, well, we're going to get off the football field. So right now, both defenses are dictating the tempo of play, doing a darn good job of hanging in there on both phases, or both football teams on that phase of it.
Yeah, once again, Terry Washington, who forced the fumble earlier, a young man out of Cleveland High School in St. Louis. He laid the lumber on him from behind just to make sure. Stephon Robinson pops into the air, loose ball. Who wants it? It's inside, and it's picked up by the Sooners. There's a flag down on the play, and coming up with it for Oklahoma, it is it going to be McEachern? No, it'll be Lewis Baker, the linebacker.
Now, he signaled fair catch. If he signaled fair catch, did he interfere with his opportunity to catch the football? Was there a fair catch signal? And even if there wasn't, was he interfering with his opportunity to catch the football? Unless there was some kind of an illegal block right there, a push from behind, that's the call. It's the block right there, a push from behind by Colorado.
It looks like it is going to belong.
There's no halo anymore, no halo rule, so that's out.
Right.
In the NFL, there's interference with the opportunity
Kick
to fair
catch
catch.
interference against the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot. First down.
Well, that's a rarity in this day and age where there is no halo anymore.
And no halo, and he didn't signal a fair catch that I saw anywhere, but it was just with his interfere with his opportunity to make a play on the football.
Called it on DJ Wolf. It was picked up by Carroll, but still it is going to belong to the Buffaloes when we come back. College Football Saturday on FSN is presented by Kyocera Wireless. Take your texting to the next level with a new Kyocera Strobe. Kyocera Wireless reminds you to dial responsibly. Brought to you in part by eHarmony.com. Are you ready to fall in love like Dave Lapham? By Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors that add up to one bold taste. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. And by Overstock.com. Search, shop, and save up to 70% at Overstock.com.
I'm still trying to discern all 23 flavors. You know, I just keep drinking that Dr. Pepper until I can taste all 23 of those flavors.
Right, the berries and green.
Yeah, that's good stuff there. It is. Here comes Colorado with 2 tights.
We got way too much time on our hands. And a good run up the middle. Finally, something going on the ground game. Mel Holiday, the senior transfer from Omaha. And he played at Nebraska to start his college career. And that's one of their longest games on the ground, a pickup of 7.
Well, he came with 2 tight ends, and they said, you know, I can just run inside zone and let the back look down the football field, show some vision, make a little cutback. And they got the defensive lineman cut off on the backside. Off to the races, they decided to go smash mouth, come out with 2 tight ends, and muscle Oklahoma between the hash marks.
And you can lose Mel. He's only 5'8", 205. So picking him up behind the huge guys in front. It'll be 2nd and 3. Shifting the tight end.
Yeah, you see
over to the left.
A lot of trading and shifting.
Holiday doesn't get back to the line. He loses a yard. Gang tackling by the Sooners once Coleman slowed him down up front. It's a key 3rd down to the midfield stripe. But first, Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joe. Right behind me, Mason Crosby kicking it to the net. And an All-American field goal kicker. Check out what was going on before the game. This is warm-ups with the wind. 62 yards out, Mason Crosby, no problem. So they're just about in its field goal range right now, guys, with this wind gusting close to 30 miles an hour.
You know, Knoxy, this may be the game where he has that 70-yard attempt. Now, Coach Hawk went on record as saying, I may let him try one of those 70-yarders. With this wind, it may happen.
Now, bullet, but it is enough. He got it across the 45 as it's taken in by Patrick Williams, the sophomore from DeSoto. Didn't need much, about 4.5, 5 yards, and he got it in front of Lendy Holmes.
This is just a matter of getting in and out of a cut on the route, and just gets himself set up and puts his body between himself and the football, between the defender and the football, gets his body kind of a box out position. The defender was given big time cushion right there. He just had to hook it up. Patrick Williams, little easy pitch and catch.
Took some time, didn't it? First down, almost 25 minutes into the game. We're looking for their 2nd now with a good run. Straight up the middle, Mel Holiday. The little guy takes it inside the 36, so they're 1 of 6 on 3rd downs. But let's see if they can start to strengthen some things together.
And the big reason they're 1 of 6 on 3rd down is they were 3rd and long so often. 3rd and long and extra long. Now they find themselves on schedule. I mean, right now, down and distance favors the offense. You pick up 7 yards on 1st down, you're in high pocket. And you don't want to be 2nd and 10, 3rd and 12. Those down and distance will kill you against a good defense.
That'll be 2nd, a little more than 3. Jackson put it on the ground. It's kicked around, and who comes up with it? I believe one of the offensive linemen did get back in time, and
Jackson
does. It was the quarterback Jackson to get it back at the 42.
Yeah, he panicked. He was in the panic mode, make sure that the ball was on the ground, but he doesn't want to lose absolute control of it. He and his running back Mel Holiday were not tight enough in their ball handling in the backfield, and as a result of them not being tight enough, Jackson put it on the ground. Holiday right there hits it on the hip. Holiday runs away from it, and Jackson's saying, there it is, I got to get on it. He did. It was desperation right there.
So, on their 3rd downs, 1 of 6 is going to be a 3rd and 9, and they give it to the wide receiver Williams, but he's got a man on his back. That was an easy call for Thibodeau, the senior from Houston, 2nd team, all Big 12 performer last year. He chased it down easily.
Well, 3rd and 6, you got to punt the football away. You can't think about 4-down territory here. Even if you're 1 and 6 and you're in the positive field position, it's still a 10-0 football game. I mean, you know, if it's 4th and 4th and a yard, you may go on 4 and 4
they'll
down.
go for the field goal instead. It's going to be a 56-yard attempt. He hit one at 63 yards during warm-ups. So Mason Crosby, the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Week last week, 56, and he hooked it too much. You can see it off his foot. Plenty of distance, but he pulled it. He had a 56-yarder last week against Texas Tech, 2nd longest in the NC2As this season. So still a shutout going for Oklahoma. All right, Mike, why did you guys have to bring up UCLA to me? That's like chewing on an aspirin right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, Notre Dame,
wow.
The luck of the Irish. How about Michigan State, the way they win that game, the way they beat UCLA? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
It all works out in the long run, though, doesn't it?
How so?
Oklahoma's got it back, and we welcome you back. Joel Myers, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox downstairs. I'll tell you, that Knoxy is one tough customer. I mean, he's down there in a blazer, wind chill in the mid-30s. Not Knox. He said, I don't need that Fox Sports Net parka. Alan Patrick leading his way. He takes it for a good gain. I say a good gain because so far, the Colorado defense on average snaps, 26 snaps up until that point, holding Oklahoma to only 3 yards a snap. Not just a gain, but a snap.
Well, the problem is on the flip side, Colorado's getting 1.9. So, I mean, you know, over 3 yards a snap is an offensive explosion compared to what Colorado's able to accomplish offensively. And it's this is definitely two defenses that they're handling their end of the bargain a lot more readily.
But Colorado really fortunate with only 44 yards of total offense as Patrick is buried in the backfield, a little toss. And then he can pick at his own hole. He lost 2. Colorado, Dave, they're lucky. They're only down by 10. Their defense is keeping them right there.
In that play, watching their defense, nobody gets cut in half. Everybody stays on their feet. Everybody runs to the football. I mean, they gang tackle. And a lot of gold helmets around the ball, just like Oklahoma. We've got watching two defenses out here that are play fast. I mean, they know where they're supposed to be. They know what they're supposed to do, and they play fast and run to the football.
Tough loss today in Big 12 play. Iowa State losing at home after losing here last week, and they were beaten by, you know, Texas Tech after no offense last week. They were going to be ready, and they won on the road 42-26. Now Thompson, he's got the first down. He's into Colorado territory. That's a former wide receiver. Yards after the catch. Well, it was just a straight run, but the same effect.
Yeah, and again, Kevin Wilson has not had Paul Thompson doing this all that often because he doesn't want to have to open up a new can of quarterbacks if he gets hurt. Doesn't have a whole lot of depth at the quarterback position, but this is like a two-back offense right there. And Patrick gets a great block, and then just a tremendous move. I mean, making miss in space. Ryan Waters is free safety. That's whoops, see you later. You got to do better than that in space. But just, you know, when you have all 10 guys blocking for the quarterback, you get out-gapped.
It'll be a dead ball foul coming up. It'll go against Oklahoma, and Patrick finally got out on the edge on the short side of the field.
False start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's a guard on that side, George Robinson.
I think what's going on here, too, in Kevin Wilson's mindset, here's the big boy right here, is once he gets that body going, you're not going to get it stopped.
Just barely a beat ahead.
Yeah, he's trying to anticipate it.
He looked good doing it, though.
I tell you what, for a big fella, he can move now.
Seriously.
And I'll tell you what, he is a big man now. He's got some calves on him.
6'5", 330, and he's only a sophomore for the Sooners.
Every bit of 330.
With being kind, Dave. Now the screen sets up, and boy, did they smell that one. Dumping down, there's the first snap for Jacob Gutierrez. Well, why'd you put me in? It's a loss of about 3-4 yards. Back downstairs. Jim Knox.
All right, Joel, don't forget, college football fans, email us throughout tonight's game. We'll answer those emails in the second half. Email address, askknox@sbcglobal.net. That's askknox@sbcglobal.net. What's that email address?
askknox@sbcglobal.net.
Oh, there we go. All right.
How about that?
Yeah, not bad, huh?
Keep it all in the family.
Yeah, that's right. All in the family.
Knoxie looks a little chilly down there. I mean, this is our first cold weather game, and I don't know if he's game ready for this.
Knoxie's outkicked his coverage better than any punter we've seen this year.
It's a 10-0 lead for the Sooners as we come back to Norman. Welcome back once again to Norman, Oklahoma. Joel Myers along with Dave Lapp and Jim Knox. Don't forget to join us Friday at 6 o'clock. We have just reached basically the midway point of the season. Oklahoma at 4-2, even in the conference with the ball. Now can they get points?
Whoa.
What a read. The cornerback again. What a start for Terry Washington, the senior from St. Louis. Part-time starter last year. He forced the fumble that Dizon picked up. He's all over the place.
Well, what's going on? Paul Thompson's running the ball more in this game than he has all year long. Why? Adrian Peterson's not in the game. So trying to balance the running attack up a little bit. He's going to come on the blitz, and he's just going to, or excuse me, outside of that, Patrick picks up the inside guy, and the corner comes on the blitz. Washington untouched, and just, puts a big kiss on Thompson. But without Adrian Peterson, you have to worry about Patrick's endurance. I mean, how many rushes can he take during the course of the game? And I think they want to involve Thompson more with Adrian Peterson not in the game as your, Heisman Trophy candidate. And Thompson is taken more hits tonight than he has all year long in the running game.
You know, timeout was taken by Colorado. They've got one left. Oklahoma with one timeout remaining. So homecoming continues for the Sooners. Marching band getting ready to come onto the field. We've got 1:29 left in the first 30 minutes of play.
And there's Adrian Peterson right there with the hooded sweatshirt on, Joel. You can see the strap to the little collarbone harness.
Yeah, Jim Knox patting him on the back on that side as well. Pre-game, well, the Sooners and Buffaloes, they met in the 2002 Dr. Pepper Big 12 title game to Reliant in Houston. Now, what a game for Quentin Griffin. He won't forget that one. 5th all-time leading rusher in OU history. Championship game record, 188 yards, 2 scores. Sooners, 29-7 over the Buffaloes. There's a guy who could get lost behind the line.
He could, and that's what Gutierrez can do at 5'5". He's hard to find.
It's going to be Patrick, and they'll make Colorado use their final timeout. So a punting situation coming up for Oklahoma into the win. Now Billy Sims, all-time leading rusher. Adrian Peterson, if he does come back, Dave, for the bowl game, 151 yards away from overtaking Billy Sims.
And will he make the big matchup against Oklahoma State, the Bedlam Series battle? That's almost a month to the day, 4 weeks to the day. He didn't sound like that would necessarily be the case. I mean, he was sounding like maybe the bowl game, depending on how the bone healed up when he was talking to Jim Knox in our pregame.
If anybody's going to come back, it's a physical specimen like Adrian Peterson.
He's a quick healer. I mean, he has shown in prior injuries that, I mean, he's Superman. Let's face it. I mean, the guy's a genetic freak. If anybody can come back in a month, he could do it.
What'd you call me? Well, the last time Colorado and Oklahoma matched up in the 2004 Big 12 championship game, that was inside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Jason White, quarterback at the time for Bob Stoops, 22 of 29. What a quarterback rating that day. 254 yards, 3 scores, and all 3 scores in the first 15 minutes of the game. Mark Clayton caught 2 of those. He finished the night with 8 for 106. Freshman Adrian Peterson, 172 yards, 28 carries. Night that won't be forgotten as the Sooners won their 39th overall conference championship. From the Big 8 to the Big 12, it just continues here in Norman. And the punter hit afterwards, Michael Cohn. He tried to sell it. It's going to take a Sooner roll all the way down to the 11-yard line. That's where Colorado's going to have it. They had it 7 times now in the first half. All they've had is a total of 44 yards in offense and only 2 first downs.
The pressure up the middle ran by him. Basically, his body lurched by him, and as the punter was coming back to the ground, he basically stepped on him and then tried to sell the Academy Award job for running into the punter. No sale. But boy, what kind of a minute offense does Colorado have when they have to go 89 yards for a score?
And don't forget, with the new rules, the clock's already rolling. So they weren't ready. The offense on the sideline, they're going to lose about 15-20 seconds before they take the snap. And Hugh Charles only gets it up to the 13, maybe the 14. It'll be a gain of 3 for Charles. They cannot stop the clock. Inside of 50 seconds left. And do you really want to take a chance? I think they're real lucky to be down by only 10.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize that. I think you're going to see the ball on the ground going at halftime and say, how are we going to get some points on the board against Oklahoma? You know, the defense will probably say, we got to score. Or special teams may, have to say, maybe say something like, we have to contribute to the cause. They're going to have to get some kind of unconventional score to stay with Oklahoma, it looks like.
Well, this will be the final snap of the half. They'll give it to Williams, the wide receiver. It won't be because he ran out of bounds at the 15. That stops it with 15 seconds left on the clock. There is a flag down in the play. So very quiet day for both teams offensively. And Oklahoma had phenomenal field position early.
Sideline warning against Oklahoma. Their first warning.
They thought they were going to the locker room after the snap. Can you blame the guys?
Well, Oklahoma, as you mentioned a couple times, Joe, only giving up 188 yards a game the last 3 games. They're tracking for a heck of a lot less than that tonight. Colorado doesn't have 50 yet. Oklahoma doesn't even have 100 themselves. It just a testimony right there to how well these defenses have been playing and how ineffective the offenses have been as well.
And let's also remind everybody of the coach's mindset. When you've got a breeze at 25 miles an hour and gusting even more, your coaches and coordinators probably think with the flag not in the play on a false start by Colorado, I want to see if I can get as much as possible out of my ground game.
On the offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
They call it on Bukowski, the redshirt freshman. Another big kid for a kid who's only 19 and 6'6", 300.
And you saw the pained expression on Coach Hawk's face. I mean, all the points that he was able to put on the board in his days at Boise State, and how they're struggling to put points on the board and generate yards. And it's been a tough transition for sure.
Yeah, no balance for Colorado. Very little from the passing game. As now Holiday is put down by Rufus Alexander. He had the most carries in the half, as it turned out, not Hugh Charles. And Oklahoma, even though there's only 4 seconds left, it was a third down, so they want to see if they can't get something out of the return game, and you can't blame them.
Or block the punt.
Block it,
exactly. Because they blocked 19 kicks in Bob Stoops' era, so it's not like they haven't gotten that done before, so they may heat it up a little bit. You know, it's when Coach Hawk talks about Bernard Jackson, he says this kid's come so far. When he first took over at the quarterback position, he could not call a play. Literally could not call a play in the huddle. So he has started from preschool. And now he's far along into elementary school, but he hasn't made high school yet. You know, and other quarterbacks in the country are in grad school. So he's basically, they're tailoring the offense to what he can do. So they've really melted their offense down to suit the talents of Bernard Jackson and trying to build back up from there. And it's been a tough process for Colorado.
Yeah, the opportunity there for Alan Patrick. And on 14 carries, the running back for the Sooners. Not a bad average, 47 yards so far. Most of it came in the first quarter, though, and then Colorado picked it up defensively. And I'm not surprised by this. Run around a little bit. Don't punt the football. Just get 4 seconds off the clock, but don't take a knee right away. So just need 4 seconds.
Don't take a safety, which they're not.
And that will do it. You didn't need to punt the football and give Oklahoma the opportunity for a block or a return. And that was the discussion with Bernard Jackson and his head coach Dan Hawkins over on the sideline. The prudent play for Colorado. So they're right there with no offense at all. 50 yards of total offense and a loss even down to take it to 45 because they lost 5 on that snap. By design lost 5, but 45 yards and you're only down by 10 on the road. You're in good shape.
Well, that's because Oklahoma's only get 98. I mean, they get 98 yards. Neither team has 100 yards, but Oklahoma does have 10 points. That's 10 points are big in this kind of game.
Let's head downstairs. Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joe. Coach, you got to be extremely pleased. Defense really doing a nice job. Total of 45 yards for Colorado here in the first half.
Defense is playing really well, being great against the run game. Offensively, we had a few drops, penalty there at the end, and then they stuffed our screenplay, kind of put us behind the chains. So, got to get more going offensively.
Real quick, your thoughts on Alan Patrick's performance?
He's doing a nice job. He's playing hard. He's running physical. He's doing great.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
All right, Knox. Well, Patrick's got 47 of the 98, and coming in, he had 62 overall of the season. So a 10-0 lead at the break for Oklahoma as we head back and join Mike Goldberg, Billy Ray Smith, DeMarco Farr, and our College Football Saturday, all presented by Kyocera, continues. It's homecoming weekend in Norman, Oklahoma, and the 22nd ranked Sooners on top at the break of the Colorado Buffaloes by 10. And welcome back once again. Joel Myers along with Dave Lapham. A real struggle for these two teams offensively. Now the weather, the wind definitely has something to do with it, but I think the credit is where it's really richly deserved, and that's on the defensive side of the ball.
I agree with you. I think both defenses have been playing their assignment responsibilities to a T, and the linebackers have really shown. Jordan Dyson has done a heck of a job in the open field making tackles, and here he is on a blitz, a little delayed blitz on Thompson. And then here the ball is stripped from Malcolm Kelly, and who's going to be the guy to recover it? Jordan Dyson, just very, very active at the linebacker position. And then let's take a look at Latimer making plays. He deflects the ball, and then Nick Harris on the safety blitz. Latimer picks off the interception on the deflection. Big-time plays by the defense in the first half. And the score shows that, Joel.
Well, it's going to be Mason Crosby teeing it up as he will be downwind in the third. And we are underway in the second half. You think this is going to be returned? Hard to believe. It was not deeper than that. Iglesias will stay, though, about 5-6 yards into the end zone. Well, we talked about the struggle offensively, as you saw by the Honda stats, and look at those numbers. Only 8 first downs combined.
1 for 8 on third down, 3 for 8. Neither team able to get it done on third down to keep the chains moving. Not a whole lot of penalties. Each team had 1 turnover, 1 giveaway. Boy, defensives have dominated this football game at the line of scrimmage for both clubs.
So the Sooners by 10. They're going to have it at their own 20. Alan Patrick. He ran well in the first quarter and in the third. He's got first down. He's going to just across the 30 for a gain of about 10.5 yards. Well, Patrick was their man on the ground. Didn't do a bad job. Not a bad average at all.
No, he was very productive and had a long carry of 12 yards, almost matched in his first carry in the third quarter here coming out of the gate. And Paul Thompson completing over 50% of his passes, but 25 yards, just tough sledding in the air for both football teams, particularly when they're throwing into the wind. The wind is worse on the field than realized up here in the booth.
Patrick again, short side of the field, and chased down by the backer, or at least the defensive end, Abraham Wright, who's been kind of quiet, Dave, the senior from Oklahoma City, who came into the game second in the nation with 9 sacks. First half possessions are charts.
12 plays for a 61-yard touchdown drive to start the game, and then it was struggle from that point forward. Turnover, field goal, and then punts on never ran more than 7 plays. 7 plays, 11 yards in punt to football. The last possession for Oklahoma. It's like take 1 step forward, a couple back.
It's going to be 2nd and 10. It's going to be Patrick again, and nothing doing. Shot down underneath as the play was torpedoed by the underneath tackle, Brandon Nicholas, our sophomore from Santa Ana, Modern Day High School. Keys coming in. Look back on those.
Well, Oklahoma got some things done. I think they've gotten Alan Patrick established a little bit. I think he's in a rhythm, and they did score first to start the football game, get off to a good start, and they have done a pretty good job of containing Jackson as well. Trying
to go with a hurry up, some form of no huddle at least. Not exactly. Rushing though. So 3 wide receivers set on 3rd and 10. Thompson has the pocket hold up and hits his man, Joe John Finley, in stride. That was a perfect throw over the linebacker to the tight end.
It sure was. It was well executed. Protection was there. Vision totally unimpeded. They only rushed 3 and dropped 8 into coverage and over the linebackers in front of the safety and just well done. Just a perfect throw of the football. Joe John Finley, a big tight end at 6'6", and as we talked about last week, I mean, he's put on 40 pounds since he's come to Oklahoma.
That's good news for Sooner fans because the Sooners, working into the win in the first half, only had 20 yards offensively. Patrick belted on his way down the line. Thaddeus Washington, middle linebacker, got him. Jim Knox, what's going on downstairs?
All right, Joel, just got through talking to Coach Hawkins of Colorado, and he told me they need to make something big happen on offense. Pleased the way the defense is doing, but on offense, he says they're getting in trouble because they're usually going 3rd and long. You cannot do that and be productive. We'll see what happens here in the second half, guys.
You know, easier said than done, because you talk about 3rd and long. You talked about going out of schedule, and that's what happened to them regularly because they had a loss on 1st down so often.
Yeah, they were 2nd and long a bunch.
Patrick again, nothing doing, trying the left side, barely back to the original line, maybe a yard at the most. Nicholas sliding down the line again.
Usually 3rd down success and 1st down success go hand in hand. When you're not positive on 1st down, you find yourself behind the 8 ball, particularly a defense as outstanding as Oklahoma has athletically. And if you're struggling a little bit on one side of the football, like Colorado is throwing the football, if you're not successful on 1st down, you're in trouble.
Nicholas off. Extra defensive back coming in. So the nickel package in there now for Colorado on a 3rd and long, 3rd and a little more than 6 for the Sooners. Good field position to start the second half. Can they capitalize? They pick up the blitz up the middle. Middle is available for Kelly, and he saw it coming. The shot from the safety turned around just in time to avoid a huge blow from Walters.
Ryan Walters, the co-defensive Big 12 Player of the Week, had a couple of interceptions against Texas Tech. And this is one reason the coaches love him. He's always in the right spot, and he's very physical. Comes up, delivers a big hit. That's just a tremendous job by Malcolm Kelly. Ball security. 6'4", 217-pounder himself. He took that shot and just did nothing other than secure the football.
Well, a couple of key 3rd down conversions to keep the drive alive to start the second half. Oklahoma starting back at their own 20. 1st and 10, Colorado territory. And a burst by Patrick gets him close to 5. It was a shot. It could have been worse. Kelly, the recognition was late, but at least he did get to turn around.
Here's what it's like to play receiver with the ball over the middle. You're gonna check your fillings, make sure they're all still there. That will rattle you a little bit.
And too often the guy doesn't get to turn his head to see what's coming. And then all of a sudden the whiplash effect. Well, Kelly went over to the sideline. After a gain of 4 on 1st down, it'll be 2nd and 6. Patrick with blocking out in front, but it collapses. Nicholas again down underneath, getting help from the backer Jordan Dizon as they collaborate. And it's going to be mid-range 3rd down snap coming up, 3-4 yards.
And Alan Patrick signaling I need a blow. That's the other thing. No running back on this football team has the endurance of Adrian Peterson. That's why Thompson's running the ball some, and Gutierrez will be Gutierrez will be playing a little bit in the 2nd half.
Patrick had 62 yards on the entire year. He's already got 66 today. Gutierrez, who's a good back here, catching it in the flat out of the backfield. Let's see if they go in that direction. Need almost 4. Thompson underneath, and it's taken in by Joe John Finley, but he's short of the 1st down by a little more than a yard.
Gutierrez at 5 foot 5 inches did a good job on blitz pickup. He just stepped right up there and took a defender's feet right out from under him.
And Patrick's coming back in because they are going to go for it now on 4th and a yard.
Why not? You have confidence in your defense. Your defense has held Colorado less than 50 yards in the 1st half. You have to think further along. If you're not successful, can your defense hold down the fort? Well, yeah. They certainly have all night for Bob Stoops, so makes his decision to go for it offensively a lot easier when your defense is dominating.
High formation. Man, flag up.
Too much
movement.
time?
Well, looked like movement early on the right side once they got down.
Well, that's no good. That'll change that decision. Potentially.
I can't read lips this high up, but it is on the right side of the offensive front, and it's going to cost them 5.
Up in the
it was
right
the
side
tight end Eldridge.
He's just shifting around.
It's the redshirt freshman tight end Brady Eldridge. Just leaned a little, but that's enough. Now 4th and 6. What about Thompson rolling, getting out of the edge, so he's got options in case he can run for the 1st down.
Well, it certainly did change the play call based on the formation. Now he has to burn a timeout.
We'll do the same to find out if they are eventually going to go for it, or will we see the place kicker for the Oklahoma Sooners. Stay with us from Norman. Oklahoma homecoming weekend. Sooners looking for more in the 1st drive of the 2nd half with 9:09 to play in the 3rd, and they are going to go for it into the win. Didn't do anything into the win in the 2nd quarter. Downwind in the 1st, they got all 10 of their points. Only 20 yards into the win in the 2nd 15-minute period. And now Thompson out of the gun, spreading the defense. Got a seal on the right side if he wants to go there. Instead, it should have been picked off. Instead, Washington couldn't hang on to it. It's still going to be the ball over on downs. But if Washington grabs it, he's gone.
And Colorado had their linebackers. Everybody's at 5 yards depth. And they're just going to rush 3 and drop 8 into coverage. And Thaddeus Washington breaks underneath. Breaks on the route from the underneath position. Just can't quite secure the football. Fought the football a little bit. Not soft enough hands right there.
So it's like a lineman is what you mean.
I've seen linemen with better hands than that.
From
Two tight ends.
From the 29. 1st and 10 Buffaloes. Only down by 10. Can they make some noise offensively? Now Holiday can't get out of the backfield. The senior from Omaha. And he was their busiest back. So he had 7 carries for 24 yards in the 1st half. What a play by Rufus Alexander again.
As you can see, not a whole lot of action going on offense. 1 completion for 6 yards, and the completion was to Patrick Williams, and Holiday wasn't really on one in the 1st half. It was very tough. It was not a Holiday. It was a tough day in the 1st half for the Colorado offense.
Not a lot. Understatement of the year. Can't get him out of the backfield again. Penetration. So Holiday are making Hugh Charles down right at the original line, and their 1st half drive charts.
And never ran more than 7 plays. A 7-play, 17-yard drive averaging about 2.5 yards a play, and then missed that field goal a significant distance. What was it, 56 yards, I believe, somewhere in that range. And couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get anything going at all offensively. No rhythm established whatsoever.
So now 3rd and 10 from their own 29. Jackson setting up, and again, he's not going to get this. No pressure at all on the quarterback, but his mindset is, maybe I can get it if I take on it. As Rufus Alexander chases him down.
Well, in Colorado, the reason they're down 10 points in a defensive slugfest is they were averaging 3rd and 8. I mean, they weren't medium 3rd and short. They were first and second down and long all half. They didn't outrush Oklahoma like they were hoping, and they never got an opportunity in the red zone. Never mind scoring a touchdown instead of field goal. They never made it there.
Delalo is going to punt. Reggie Smith had a good career with the Red Sox, later with the Dodgers, waiting for it back at about the 20-yard line. Man, who didn't call for the fair catch and pays for it. And again, their cornerback does a good job on special teams. What a game for Terry Washington.
He has been tough.
So it's going to be at the 19. A good job by Smith just to hang on to the football because he got raked right away. Paul Thompson, can he get it going offensively? Inside of 7 left in the 3rd. It has really been disappointing. Granted, they're going into the win, but they have not been able to run the football at all against this Colorado defense. Jim Knox, what's the latest downstairs?
You may recognize this guy, Tommy McDonald. That's right, NFL Hall of Famer, of a big-time college football player with the Oklahoma Sooners. They honored the 1956 National Championship team, and you were a big part of that. How'd that go at halftime, Tommy?
It went absolutely fantastic, because you know what? Oklahoma has the greatest fans in the world. Yes!
I may want to mention, it's a cheerleader reunion also tonight. Tommy would be a good one for that. Take us back. 1956, you guys played Colorado. You scored 3 touchdowns in that game, a punt. You also passed for 1, ran for 1. You were Mr. All-Purpose because you still hold the record here, 9.31 all-purpose yards over Greg Pruitt.
I was just so lucky because my teammates were so great, and Bud Wilkinson was the greatest coach in the world. I went all through college and never lost a game. How many people can say that? Not too many. Not too many at all. But we had a real close game against Colorado and everything. But Wilkinson, at halftime, he made a great speech. He says, "You gentlemen do not deserve to wear that jersey today. It has taken that reputation of that jersey built up for years, and I want you to go out there and play to get that reputation up into the jersey that it deserves. Go out there and win the game." And
I'm ready. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Tommy, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I did all of this because of the good Lord, God Almighty.
There you go,
Yes,
Tom.
sir. God made me small, but he gave me an 8-foot heart.
That's Tommy McDonald. Thanks, Noxie. And let's look back now on that 56 season, a memorable national championship.
Tension was high as the Sooners visited the high country at Boulder, Colorado, land of snow and a 33-degree temperature. OU was in trouble from the start as Fleischer tried to quick kick. John Bayou blocked the ball and recovered in the end zone for a Colorado touchdown. With the 7-0 reading, Colorado was the first team to lead Oklahoma. But late in the period, Harris rolled out and hit McDonald 35 yards down the middle for the score, and the scoreboard read Colorado 7, Oklahoma 6. And on 4th and 1, McDonald hit Thomas from 6 yards out for the touchdown. Harris's conversion made the score Colorado 19, Oklahoma 13. And with 48 seconds showing on the third period clock, McDonald sped around right in for 11 yards and the touchdown. The final score, Oklahoma 27, Colorado 19.
Well, it's something that'll never be forgotten, and I'm not going to argue with Tommy McDonald when he talks about Bud Wilkinson as the greatest coach. What a run. Now, our Best Buy trivia. In that title season for the Sooners, they only allowed 4 opponents to score. There were 6 shutouts. Who scored the most against Oklahoma that year?
Well,
1956, as we celebrate their 50th anniversary.
If you're paying attention, you should know the answer to that. And how about Tommy McDonald? Tommy McDonald ran for 1, threw for 1, and caught 1. And that's Braxton, the big offensive lineman that's struggling with injury in that last play. Hopefully he's going to be all right.
Yeah, Brandon Braxton, they've been looking at his left leg. We'll come right back and continue on homecoming weekend. 56 remembered, and Tommy McDonald. Sooners by 10 as they continue to tend to Brandon Braxton, the right tackle, and unfortunately he got rolled by one of his own teammates who was blocked into him.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. You can see he's struggling to get off the football field. And there we have Braxton at the right tackle position. And watch what's going to happen with him. He sets to cut off on the inside, and watch the left foot right there. He gets rolled up on and just bends over. Oh, it bends over, and that left foot is not doing very well at the end, at the bottom of his left leg, and that's tough to watch.
Now from the 21 as they put it back into play. 5:43, and now it's moving. The clock rolling. Left in the third. It's going to be a third day for the Sooners. Colorado showing right now at least just a three-man rush. With a dime package in there for the Buffaloes, and it stays a three-man rush. Quick grab for Kelly. He was close to the marker, and he gave up a yard. So he's going to be short of the first down by a good yard. Again, Terry Washington on top of the situation. Well, we were looking at our Best Buy trivia just a couple of minutes ago. The 56 title team. Who scored the most points against Oklahoma that year?
That was Colorado that game.
That old footage we saw.
Yeah.
You know, by the footage, you thought Colorado was shut out in the game, 27-0. But it actually was 27-19.
Heck of a game, and right in the midst of the 46 game streak that Bud Wilkinson had. 46 straight they won.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was. The next year they were beaten. 56 was perfect, though. And what's ironic about that, they won the national championship as Stephon Robinson on a short punt into the wind calls a fair catch. Believe it or not, they did not play in a bowl game because in the old days you couldn't go consecutive years, so Nebraska went, not Oklahoma. Colorado's got it back in great shape field position-wise. They're only down by 10. Let's see if they can get it started offensively. We get it started, though, tomorrow. Be there live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings, the official BCS ratings. That rating show exclusively right here on FSN. You can find out who's moving up, who's moving out, who is moving on towards the BCS bowl game. Official BCS rating show. It's all presented by KFC tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern. It's only on FSN. Incomplete on the first down throw. You know, Dave Lapham, we were just talking about that 56 title team, and they did not go to a bowl game. As you see, the numbers so far on Bernard Jackson. Well, in the old days, in the old Big 8 conference, you couldn't go. If you appeared the year before, they had to deal with the Orange Bowl.
Right.
You couldn't go in back-to-back seasons. So the appearance was not there for the 56 national championship team.
And here in 2006, you can have 6 and 6 teams go to a bowl game, and in 56, you had a team that went undefeated, didn't go to a bowl game. It's all about dollars and cents in 2006.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 as Jackson shifts the tight end. And his wide receiver Sprague as well. And it's going to be Holiday, and he's met by the linebacker Latimer. It's almost like Latimer knew what they were going to run that play. The penetration and the offensive set, and a loss of a couple of yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 12. This is the best drive without picking up a turnover, best starting point of a drive for Colorado so far tonight. But can they capitalize with the field position first down marker? Brought to you by Overstock.com. With live customer service and an online best price guarantee. Shopping online has never been easier. It's Overstock.com.
And the best down to throw on is first down if you're struggling. But if you've only completed one ball all game long, it doesn't matter what down you throw on. I mean, right now, Colorado's pass offense is struggling to be kind.
Well, why haven't they gone to gear the tight end? Number 87, who's got 21 grabs coming in. Got plenty of time for Bernard Jackson, but again, he shuts it down early. He decided to run early. With no heat, Lewis Baker wraps him up from behind.
Well, Bernard Jackson, by scheme, it looks like to me that he looks on one side of the field for 2 reads, and his third option is tuck it and run. He never gets his eyes to the back side of the field. So they're saying, Bernard, you're going to have an intermediate or short. You're going to have long on an intermediate. And then if nothing's there, you tuck it and go, because sometimes protection is not a problem. But when the coverage is handled, he tucks it and takes off.
Delano from Wellington, Florida. He will hit it again. He's been a busy guy today. Now he is downwind. Trying to pooch it, but it goes down the middle to Reggie Smith, and Smith unfortunately falls down for the Sooners because that was a returnable tight. He's back at his own 14-yard line, losing his balance. So Colorado, after that series, which was their second, and they still don't have a first down in the second half. They've only got 2 for the game. They have 52 yards, not 2 yards a snap for this contest. 33 plays, 52 yards. As cold as they look, That's how frigid the Colorado offense has been. Now, this was at halftime, and this is great news for everybody. Oklahoma announced a new scholarship endowed in the name of the late Prentice Goff. And his wife, Sandra, there to accept the honor. So it's an endowed scholarship announced by President David L. Bourne and Athletics Director Joe Castiglione here. So good news, and another one to perpetuate the name and the legacy of Prentice Goff. Alan Patrick bolts past the 20 to the 21. You talked about the endurance factor. He looks good early in series. Can he maintain, though?
Well, and it is. Endurance is going to be a question. It's going to be a factor. There's no doubt that he is an aggressive runner. I mean, he will get the football downhill, and he's not going to dance in the hole. Kevin Wilson said the only way that he won't get as many snaps as we're anticipating is, number one, if he has ball security problems. Number two, if he doesn't hit it up in there and he starts dancing in the hole. He's shown no signs of either. No ball security problems whatsoever tonight.
He's got 77 yards. And now Gutierrez battling his way. And close to a first down. He may have it. They pushed him back. He went out of the game, Alan Patrick. It looked like he cramped up a little bit at the end of that last snap. So Gutierrez hustled onto the field. One of his better runs. And will they need a measurement as they put it down to the 24-yard line?
Well, a couple of things you have to bear in mind. It's his first career start. I'm talking about Patrick. And a lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy. And if you don't keep up with your fluids, even though it's cold, a little chillier, you're gonna dehydrate. You're gonna lose too many body fluids if you don't drink anything during the course of the game. And I'm sure that's probably what happened to him. And you do waste a lot of energy and a lot of emotion with that adrenaline. I mean, he's gonna have to learn how to handle those kind of things, and it all comes with getting more than one start in his career. This is the first one.
He had the first down by the length of the football. Thompson with Gutierrez. He's belted in the backfield. Stays right there with a loss of a yard, almost 2 yards.
Boy, Gutierrez does hide behind those linemen. I'm not sure he's 5'5". Boy, he has got a compact body.
Big day against Baylor, though.
Look at him. If he gets in the middle of the huddle, he's the incredible shrinking man. He's gone. I mean, they can just eclipse him.
So you're telling me Quentin Griffin can dunk on him?
I think he can post him up. They can take him down low. He does have a more similar running style to Quentin Griffin, and I'm certainly not saying Patrick is Thompson, but he's got more of that type of running style. And Gutierrez, I think, is a lot more like Quentin Griffin running style.
It'll be second, a little more than 11. Thompson with time and behind Joe-John Finley, but he had to throw it there because of the defensive back who's coming over and read it perfectly. That was Ryan Walters, the safety. If he throws it to the other side, Walters has a shot at it.
Well, the wind is playing havoc with the passing games, no doubt tonight.
And downstairs, the cramping situation. Jim Knox.
All right, Joe. Yeah, Alan Patrick trying to work a left cramp out in his calf. But right now, Adrian Peterson giving him a nice encouragement talk. Adrian Peterson's been talking to him most of the game. And here comes Alan Patrick on cue.
Knox, you know the Colorado has not given up a 100-yard rusher all season long. You said Patrick is up to about 77, Joel?
And after the he had 24 carries for 77 yards. They only give up 77.4 per contest, 9th best in the nation.
And 2.5 a rush, 10th best in the nation. They've held 4 teams under 100 yards, 6 under 124 yards rushing. I mean, they're pretty sound.
It's going to be 3rd and long for Thompson out of the gun. One to the middle. Instead, it's Iglesias on the screen, and it doesn't work. Boy, this Colorado defense chasing well, staying with their responsibilities at the start of a snap. And it's going to be a punting situation. Well, let's take a look now at our Big 12 leaders when it comes to stopping the run. All delivered by the United States Postal Service. And we were just talking about the Buffaloes. Good job by Texas this year as well.
Texas with that big win against Nebraska. Now, Nebraska ran the football for a lot more than 50 yards, but they didn't dominate the ground game, that's for sure. I mean, Texas hung in there pretty well. So those numbers will skew a little bit, but Texas is very, very stout defensively, as everybody's seen all year long.
Well, Colorado calling the timeout with 26 seconds left in the 3rd. And that's what they've got left with the wind to their back in this game. We'll kick off your football weekend tonight. It is Pro Football Preview. NFL insider Jay Glazer, joined by former NFL stars Tim Brown, Eddie George, Jason Sehorn. They'll break it down, the biggest stories from across the NFL. Pro Football Preview. It's tonight, 11 o'clock only on FSN.
Well, Coach Hawk and his Buffaloes are going to get the ball back, Joel, and so far, offense for him today has been like going for root canal surgery. It's been painful.
Well, you've just insulted every dentist in the country.
I mean, it has been just tough thing to do. Get some yards.
Michael Cone trying to hit it below the wind. Robinson puts it on the ground, and Oklahoma's got it. Oklahoma covers it. An easy pickup for Joe John Finley, the tight end. So that's the second time that Robinson's put it on the ground.
Well, earlier in today's game, Nebraska had a hard time fielding punts, and it cost them serious field position that hurt them in the football game. And I'm sure these guys, said, look, catch the football tonight, even if it's in the wind. Don't let it hit the ground because it's going to cost you some field position. This defensive type of game is going to be a field position game. Well, you still have to squeeze it. Robinson didn't, and Finley did.
So the Sooners will get it right back with only 17 seconds, and they had to run it once now. See what they get.
But the way Oklahoma is playing defense, I'm not sure what Colorado can come up with. I mean, I guess we're going to start seeing some gadget plays, some different looks formation-wise if they ever get the ball back.
Patrick on first down. And smashes it straight ahead for short yardage, and it's only a couple. So again, Colorado's defense doing everything they can possibly do to keep their overall unit in the game. Now the offense has to pick it up. Otherwise, Oklahoma looking at the potential of a shutout over the next 15 minutes of play. That's the end of the third on a windy night in Norman. And the Sooners, they will have the wind at their back for the final 15 minutes of regulation. They're on top by 10. You're watching Big 12 football. It's all presented by Kia Serra on FSN. Saturday continues on FSN, all presented by Kia Serra. Homecoming weekend in Norman, Oklahoma. Joel Myers, Dave Lapp, Jim Knox, and here we go. Sooners, quick hitter, and on second down, Manuel Johnson, who's got the only touchdown of the game, takes it in. He's just barely short, or will they give him the first down? I think he might have enough. Our eharmony.com game summary. If you like defense, this is for you.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding. Look at that. 1.6 yards per play for Colorado, 3.3 for Oklahoma. Wow. I mean, this is just a defensive guru's joy right here. Gary Reason's up here in the booth with us watching the game tonight. Gary, being the stud that he was at linebacker, he loves this game.
It is ugly. It's a first down and a play fake for Thompson, and a good job if he can hang on, but no, it's dropped by Brady Eldridge. We've seen some drops. He's a redshirt freshman out of Kansas. Now, Dave, I've worked a lot of bad weather games, and this isn't one of them. There is some wind. There's no doubt about that, and there's plenty of wind gusting upwards 20, 25 miles an hour. Well, but it doesn't speak to the ineptitude of these two offensive units.
Well, the goalpost on here's looking at the closed end of the stadium, blowing in one direction. On the open end, they're blowing in the opposite direction. It's a swirling wind, so you never really are. The wind is tricky. It affects your passing game. Normally, if the wind's blowing in one direction each quarter.
False start on the offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And don't forget,
you're going to have it at your back or not. And both teams are struggling. I haven't noticed that much of a difference between the passing attacks when they've changed directions. So, I mean, this swirling wind, and wind is the one weather variable that kills you. It's cold for both teams. It's wet for both teams, but usually the wind just affects one team. Tonight it's affecting both of them.
When is the last time in this day and age that you've seen a team with only one completion at the start of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, you have to go back to 1956.
Thank you.
To the national championship team.
And that's the case for Colorado. Bernard Jackson is 1 for 6. Now Gutierrez weaving his way after the mark off of 5 on the false start. He got about 4 of it back. So it's going to be 3rd and long. They dropped it on first down. It'll be 3rd and 11 at the 45. Dizon, the constant, making the stop again for Colorado. The wind is at the back of Paul Thompson. He started last week's game 14 of 17. Tailed off a little bit in the second half when the game was put away, but he was sharp last week.
The first drive, Oklahoma went through Colorado like a hot knife through butter.
12 plays, 61 yards, easy score, 5.5 minutes off the clock.
Yep.
Now the blitz off the edge. Gutierrez got to it for the most part, and they get it. the first down with Malcolm Kelly. Gutierrez did his job, even if it wasn't that much.
That's the second time that he's done a tremendous job of stepping right up in there and sticking his nose in the fracas. He's definitely not gun shy. And here he is right on the edge. Gutierrez getting it done. And as a result of him getting them on the ground, there's Gutierrez right there. He gets run over a little bit, but he's willing. and he gives a lane to his quarterback as a result of getting in the way. And the completion is made to the sideline.
He picked up the blitz, and it wasn't a big guy that blitzed. It was the 5'10", 195-pound senior quarterback, Terry Washington. Patrick bangs his way inside the 30 down to the 29 for a gain of about 4. Got down by Hippolyte. So it's going to be 2nd and 6, almost 7. But every second starting to count now against Colorado. If Oklahoma, with the way things have gone offensively, if Oklahoma can get into the end zone, Dave, this game's over. Yeah, well, it's a 2-score game right now. I mean, you'd almost think, you know, into the 4th quarter with the lack of offense that Colorado has shown to date, less than 2 yards of play, 2-score game is dicey. They make it a high 2-score game. It's sayonara. It's 52 yards of total offense for Colorado. And Patrick trying to find a little crease, waiting for the block to develop. Not much room on the short side of the field, and he's bumped down by Brad Jones, a strong side backer. You can still, he is still hurting a little bit as he hobbles over, and he's stiff, Alan Patrick, on the lower half of his body. Well, number 71 that's in the football game right now in the red jersey for Oklahoma, the big freshman, Trent Williams, is in. This is a big man right there as well. And he's in the football game right now because his cohort is down and out, Braxton. True freshman you're talking about at 6'5", 320 from Longview, Texas. Good player. And this is the youngest team Bob Stoops has had since he took over at Oklahoma. He's only got 11 seniors on this squad. Gutierrez for the first down, and Little Jacobs got it. He got a seal on the right side, and he's knocked out of bounds near the 16. Well, he's got the jackhammer feet. There's no question about that. He can pick him up and put him down. And last year against Baylor, he went for 170 yards. One of the games that Adrian Peterson was not able to participate in it. You know, he all of a sudden he bursts out on you. I mean, he hides behind those big offensive line, and then all of a sudden, whoop, there's Goot. And Goot scooting. Goot can scoot. So first down for the Sooners at the 16. I kind of like the way you say that. Goot can scoot. Kind of the antithesis of us. Deep penetration and started back at the 46. Good field position to start the drive. The Sooners, can they capitalize? Gutierrez making a miss in the backfield. And a lot of that be-your-own blocker kind of thing. He took a couple for about 3 yards. He got 2 overall, but it looked like he was going to be stopped. And here's what you're talking about, the game against Baylor. And this is before knee surgery. Last year, showing some explosiveness, some acceleration, and good vision. Bounce it to the outside. He can really get after it. Gets inside the corner of the pylon. He did have some knee surgery, and he's fully recovered from that, the coaches feel. And he had a torn ACL. Yeah, tore the ACL, and he's rehabbed it very, very well. I'll tell you, though, still the craziest strength story that I've heard was Adrian Peterson. We'll get to that strength story after this snap. It'll be 2nd and about 8. Pocket holding up very nicely for Thompson. Corner, and it's complete to Kelly. He's got a 1st and goal right at the 5. Back to the strength of Peterson. Adrian Peterson. Jerry Schmidt, the strength coach, told me took a 40-pound dumbbell in either hand and a box 42 inches high in front of him. Jumps both feet up on the box 42 inches high. That is power, explosion, leg strength. I said to Bob Stoops, I said, Coach Smith was just telling me about it. I said, weren't you worried that he'd get hurt? I mean, Stoops said, yeah, I was really worried about it. And Jerry said, don't worry about it. He can do it. He does it all the time. 80 pounds, 40-pound dumbbells in each hand, jump up on a box 42 inches up. Unbelievable. Play fake for Thompson. Underneath it goes. And they belt the target Jeff Smart, or check that over on the other side. They belt Danes Zaslaw, the fullback, the junior from Edmond, Oklahoma. Without Peterson, the 4 games last year. Well, 2 of them were struggling defensively, Kansas State and Baylor, against their run. Although Baylor was pretty good last year, to be honest. But 77 yards against Texas and 95 yards against Kansas. It was a pretty good run defense. And tonight struggling against Colorado, who comes into the game allowing 77 yards themselves. And they've doubled what Colorado's given up almost on the season coming in. It's at the 2. It'll be Alan Patrick, short side of the field. He's in. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
That has serious potential of being coffin nails right there.
And it took also 5 minutes off the clock as Oklahoma's in the end zone.
And just a good job executing, lead block done very well. Take him to the ground. When people are on the ground, you can't make a tackle. You just can't get cut in half. Have to stay on your feet. And Patrick just squares those shoulder pads up and pierces the goal line.
It'll be Garrett Hartley for the point after. It is tough to play catch-up when you don't have the football. And Colorado's only had it twice here in the second half, and they don't have a first down so far. The second 30 minutes of play as Hartley splits the uprights. So a nice time-consuming drive culminated by Patrick's 2-yard run, and the Sooners in control. He is now charging a consultant's fee, and that is Adrian Peterson, the guy that we think is the best running back in the country. Our Dodge scoring drive, you know, the 54 yards, okay, but the 5 minutes, that's what kills Colorado, a game of keep away.
And Patrick closing in on 100 yards, but it's taken him a while to do it. I mean, 28 carries. Colorado has hung in there, more than hung in there defensively. They've played winning football on the defensive side of the football, but special teams and offense have let them down. Special teams have had some mistakes and turnovers, and offensively haven't been able to get anything done.
Well, the ball blown off the tee and not a shot. It is still whipping and gusting, a swirling wind here in Norman, Oklahoma. As they start to filter down, it looks like homecoming weekend, they've got plans tonight. Early kickoff. Locally, it was a 6 o'clock kick, so 8:30.
I just, a little bit ago, I saw A&M and Toto scooting around down there, so you better watch yourself. It's picking up strong down there.
Slow line drive. Man, the defensive back Washington went to get it. They'll be smothered after he crosses the 20. Put down near the 27. Well, time now for our Dr. Pepper Student Athlete Spotlight. And for the Colorado Buffaloes, 2-time first-teamer, academic all Big 12. And a 3.6 in finance. And that is Brian Daniels, their offensive lineman, the senior from Evergreen, Colorado, and one of only 2 to take every snap offensively this year. So dedication, both in sports and academics.
And how about this young man? He's given up 1/2 of a quarterback sack his last 3 seasons. Haven't given up any sacks this year, and only 1 penalty. He's been charged with 1 penalty, this being the 8th game. He is a smart player.
Now that he's in there, we've not seen much of Hugh Charles tonight, have we? And now, Bernard Jackson pulled it back with a flag on the play and gets it off. His second completion of the game, and it goes to the running back who was in there for the Buffaloes.
Holding on the offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, it takes it away, and that was Cantrell, the converted inside linebacker. They put it fullback.
I just jinxed Daniels. That's his 2nd penalty of the season. They just called him for holding.
Timing's everything, isn't it?
They just called him for holding. He'd only given up 1 penalty all season long, and here he is. He's got a grab of the jersey, and cloth stretches, and he gets caught.
Yeah, how's Jackson feel, though? He's still 1 through 6. That was his biggest play through the air.
When it rains, it pours. You need a lot of umbrellas out there. Everybody needs an umbrella because it's pouring.
Last of the Big 12. Total offense, last of the Big 12. Only 6 yards passing so far. So it'll be 1st and 20 back at the 17. Holiday got a yard, and that's it, up to the 18. And now the clock working against Colorado. Next snap is going to come inside of 9 minutes to play.
I'm surprised that Colorado is not doing as much trading, motion, formations. They have not been trying to get Oklahoma misaligned. I mean, it hasn't been. There's a lot of this West Coast philosophy with Coach Hawkins where there is a lot of personnel groupings and formations and trading and shifting, and hasn't really done as much of it. I think he really wanted to simplify things for Bernard Jackson in this game, and it hasn't really worked.
Going to the 4 times, we've seen a 4 wide receiver set, and with that, and I think it's the first time, that's why Oklahoma wanted to stop play. So a different look personnel-wise for the Sooners, their defensive coordinator. Timeout, Sooners. Big 12 football, all presented by Kia Sarah, continues on FSN. It'll be deep in Colorado territory, and they're looking at a 2nd and 19 at their own 18-yard line.
Off schedule once again.
They only have 53 yards of total offense on 34 snaps. They have not been able to put any kind of draw on the line, and it's out of the reach of their wide receiver, Patrick Williams. So distraction for Bernard Jackson. There were guys in his face and also guys trying to time a tip, but still it wasn't close.
Yeah, Brent Venables has done a good job mixing up his blitz packages with dropping 8 into coverage and rushing 3, and dropping 7 into coverage, rushing 4, then bringing a blitz every once in a while. It's all designed to get quarterbacks out of rhythm. Now, he can get experienced veteran quarterbacks out of rhythm. Bernard Jackson doesn't know what he doesn't know yet, basically, in terms of reading coverages. He can really get him out of rhythm.
They're in the fullback in motion. Jackson again. Some time and going for the fullback, who's got it for the first down. His first snap, Samson Jaguares, the junior from Arcadia, California. See at Santa Anita, he's got a first down.
Well, and for the first time, it went to the backside. Watch the fullback run the route out of the backfield, and watch him go to the backside as he works his way. I mean, finally got his eyes to the backside of the football field.
You're right. He's not looked at. It's been split in half, and the other half, it's kind of like tunnel vision. So first down, only the 3rd of the game for Colorado. Jackson out of the gun. See if they open it up a little bit. Maybe the Sooners won't let them open it up a little bit. And he wisely throws it away. The heat was applied by Thibodeau, the senior defensive end from Houston. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And even though Oklahoma has put on some consistent pressure all night, haven't generated a lot of quarterback sacks, and that's been flying the ointment all year for them. They've got 9 sacks on the year, 3 from the defensive linemen, 3 from the linebackers, 3 from the secondary. And when you look at IU and Thibodeau, they combined for 17 sacks themselves, those 2 ends last year.
2nd and 10 from the 40. Take it to Charles, keep it himself. Jackson loses it, gets it back, covered it at the 48. You know, you bring up an interesting point. We've talked to the Sooner coaches about it, and it all goes to the depth underneath, where they used to have the Tommy Harrises.
Dusty Dvorak.
Yeah, they used to have great pressure guys right over the center in the gaps, and they haven't had that over the last couple of years.
Oh, particularly this year.
Right.
And this year was a problem because they had Dusty, you know. But and you're exactly right. I mean, defensive ends, they get sacks because the defensive tackles push the pocket. The tackles are taught to disrupt the depth of the pocket, the ends to disrupt the width. And if the defensive tackles are disrupting the depth, the defensive ends get a payday.
It's 3rd and a couple. Will Jackson run for it? Yes. And he's got a block as well. And Byron Ellis is tailback. And a first down. And by far the best run of the night for Jackson. This is going to be too little too late, though. Down to the 33. It'll stop it with 7:22 remaining.
In the last handful of plays, Colorado's had their 2 longest plays of the night. The pass and then this run from Bernard Jackson. He definitely brings something to the table in space. Now, he's got some make you miss to him. There's no question about that. He's got some elusiveness, and he's got some speed out there on the edge.
19 yards on the carry, by far his longest of the night. First down, Colorado. Trying to avoid a shutout. It's at the 33 of Oklahoma. Working into the wind. Jackson with heat. Good gun. And it goes out inside the 25 for his tight end, Tyson DeVries. We've talked about the fact that Ryer Gear doesn't have a catch tonight with 21 grabs coming in. That's the other tight end. Big target at 6'6", 250.
In Colorado, stringing together some people are making plays. I mean, it's just a matter of, at some point in time, step up and make some plays. And right now, Oklahoma's on their heels a little bit defensively. Just a little play action, get him out on the perimeter, change the launch point, and get the ball to the tight end where he can secure it for extra yards after catch.
So first down, this drive started back at the 27 of the Buffaloes, and now they have it at the 22 of Oklahoma. Jackson with a long count. Heat off the edge and threw way over the head of the other tight end I was talking about, Gear, because of the pressure. Not a ton from Lundy Holmes.
But again, Brent Venables is trying to mix it up. Sometimes he's going to bring pressure in. And for the first time, Colorado is on the doorstep of the red zone. They hadn't sniffed this kind of field position all game long. And that was one of their issues coming into this football game. In the red zone, they had really struggled. They'd only scored 32% of the time touchdowns in the red zone, and it allowed the opposition to score 62.5% of the time in the red zone.
Until this drive, they did not have a first down in the second half. It'll be 2nd and 10. Deep drop, plenty of time, wide open receiver, and knocked away and almost intercepted. Well timed as he was going down the right side for Alvin Barnett. It was almost a dual possession with Darian Williams.
Yeah, there was some wrestling for the football going on up there. What a great game Williams had last week. A couple of sacks, had an interception, and almost pitched one off here. And just both players fighting for the football, and it falls harmlessly to the turf. Waited a little too long for it. If he had broken on the ball and cut in front of the receiver, which he could have done because he found the ball first, he would have had himself a pick.
It's interesting, though, to wait this long to use both sides of the field, as you brought up, looking back the other way. So now it's 3rd and 10. Here comes the heat. Jackson throwing it way over the head of Patrick Williams. So you want to avoid a shutout. You need more than, 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. It's only 16, so you got to go for the field goal.
Yeah, and give Mason Crosby an opportunity here. He leads the country, active kickers. 63 made field goals. And for the 8th time last week, he was named Special Teams Player of the Week. That's a record in the Big 12 Conference.
It's a 39-yard attempt. He's got 5 misses this year, but 3 of the 5 have come well beyond the 50. The 39-yard attempt, and he pulls it, but it still finds its way inside the upright on the line drive. So the Buffaloes finally on the board. It took almost 54 minutes.
A lot of people have left, too.
Have you tried one? Welcome back once again, as Mason Crosby has made it a 14-point deficit. And Mason Crosby finishing 2nd for the Luke Rose Award last year, showing what he can do from long range. And, you know, there's one thing when you're at mile-high elevation, but he's done it on the road as well, Dave.
Yes, he has. He hit one down at Miami in Florida and of 58 yards. And he had another 61-yarder this year that was nullified by a timeout. Colorado State called a late timeout. He had crushed one from 61 yards. He has got range beyond belief, no doubt about it.
Why do I feel like I was just a part of a video game?
You know, when he hits the football, it's like when Tiger Woods hits a golf ball, it makes a different sound. When Mason Crosby strikes a football, it makes a different sound.
Well, he wanted to stick around, and he got some of the goals already. And he wanted to be the all-time leading scorer. It's hard to believe, though, a guy like the enemy could score that many touchdowns. Bobby Anderson, an old friend of ours as well.
Yeah, and Bobby Anderson did in a lot fewer games. Mason Crosby now to update it, 278 points with that field goal made right there.
You know, he caught up with Mason Crosby, talked about some of the accomplishments and what it means to him to be on top of this list.
That was one of my goals coming back. Making the decision was like I felt like I had a lot of stuff undone. I was just like so close and everything, and came back and had the chance. It didn't come as quick as I hoped. We were kind of reeling at the beginning, just struggling a bit, but once we've kind of started getting in this groove, and I'm getting more points, but I'm just happy to put points on the board so we can win some games.
Well, he's going to be kicking on Sunday for a long time, and he has got as powerful a kicking leg as I've seen.
Well, here comes the onside kick, down by 14. So we talked about the way he can kick it downfield, and a loose ball is going to be covered. It's going to be covered by the wide receiver of the Sooners, and he's been all over it tonight, Malcolm Kelly. After went through the 5-hole of one of his teammates. So the Sooners have it, and they've got it in Colorado territory.
And obviously no surprise to Oklahoma. They were anticipating the onside kick, and they had their hands team out on the football field. They had all the defensive backs, running backs, receivers, secondary people up there within 10 yards of the football and made the play on it.
DJ Wolf thought he had it. Fortunately for Bob Stoops, Malcolm Kelly did. So the Sooners just need to run out the clock now, man, with the new rules in college football. And they also ought to pay attention to the play clock a little bit. Let it go inside of 6 seconds every time they take a snap. Well, Thompson is going to milk it from the 43. Alan Patrick with a block. And good yardage. He got 5, almost 6 on first down. So we head back to the sideline. Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joel. Answering an email, this coming from Terry. She saw the stunt the cheerleader did last week, jumping all over these cheerleaders, the side semi. Wanted to see it again. We're going to add one more. Zach, take a leap, buddy. Here he comes. Ready? Down low. Oh, he cleared it.
Zach attack.
What a job, Zach. 2 for 2.
In the cold and in the wind, Knoxy.
He didn't even stretch, Dave. I said, don't you got to stretch? He said, no, man, I'm good.
All right, was the wind at his back or was it against the wind, that jump?
I think it was the wind at his back.
And why did I feel like Knox was going to stand up at the last second there? Nothing that time for Patrick. Abraham Wright wrapping him up, the senior from right here in Oklahoma City. A young man that was not recruited by Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. Well, what a senior season. Second of the country in sacks, tackles for loss up there as well. First down markers all brought to you by Overstock.com, your online source for savings on everything from video games to big screen TVs.
Yeah, Abraham Wright, 9 sacks, second in the country, 12 tackles for loss, 7th in the country. He's got 13 quarterback pressures. I mean, he has been a force off the edge. The last time they had a double-digit sack season, Joel, 14 years ago, Ronnie Wolford got 13.5 way back in '92.
Now it's go to third. He lost a yard, 3rd and 5, almost 6, short side of the field. It works for Patrick, and it looked like he stayed in bounds, but he'll stop it anyway for the movement of the chains. And that's what Bob Stoops and his staff is saying. But you got to realize they got to stop it anyway to move the chains.
And one of the first people to see Alan Patrick and congratulate him on that run was Adrian Peterson. He just pierced 100 yards, 31 carries. That's an Adrian Peterson-like day. That's a very, very long day at the office. 31 carries in college football against this rush defense that had only been giving up 77 yards a game. The first time all year they've given up 100 yards rushing to a single running back.
Not only the second time over the last 21 games. Quite a statement for this defensive unit for Colorado. But they've been on the field all night. Their offense has not done a thing. Patrick shut down that time. No gain on the carry. And time possession, it means nothing. It's the most meaningless stat in football because good offensive units can score in 2 minutes and the other team can drive for 7 or 8 minutes, Dave, and settle for a field goal. But you got to at least get first downs and stay on the field.
Right. And time of possession becomes an issue when your possessions are limited. And this has been just and your offense is struggling like Colorado does.
Well, Colorado has stopped the clock. They've got 1 timeout remaining and 3:41 to play. Taste Dr. Pepper. There is more to it. How much more left for Oklahoma? Well, to the seal on the right side, and Alan Patrick over the century mark. He's collared, but he still gets about 8 yards.
Well, Alan Patrick has shown himself to be physically ready when his opportunity presented itself. Come into his first career start and carry the ball over 30 times. That's saying something. And Adrian Peterson is, in my mind, the ultimate warrior. He may be the best conditioned running back I think I've ever seen in terms of endurance. You could not wear him down. That's why his dad nicknamed him All Day Adrian Peterson.
And what about Sundays? Edgerrin James type on Sunday?
Yeah, I think, the one thing about Adrian Peterson that people are always talking about, he's real upright. Is he going to take hits in the NFL the way they can run that much faster? We'll see.
Patrick slowed down. He needed 2 for the first down. Where will they put him? Right at the marker, but I think he's going to be short by about a foot or 2. And you talk to the durability, the endurance. Well, when you don't start, you don't play, and your best day ever is Middle Tennessee State for 52 yards. I don't think he's going to have any problem sleeping tonight as Patrick over the century mark. That was his 34th carry of the game.
And you have to hope that Adrian Peterson's pro career will be a lot kinder to him injury-wise than his college career was. I mean, he did after his freshman year when he had the 1,900 yards and he was runner-up to the Heisman. Last year, the high ankle sprain and a little bit of a shoulder problem. This year, the broken collarbone. I mean, it's just sometimes it's just like a jinx type thing. And he's deserved. I mean, he's owed. He deserves some healthy seasons from the football gods for sure, because the last couple have been tough on him.
Still top, 2 or 3, depending upon who drafts first, second, third.
Absolutely.
I think he's right there in the NFL spring draft.
As I said many times, I mean, I saw a lot of great running backs finish runs. He's as good as I've ever seen finish a run. I mean, Adrian Peterson He just fights for every last inch, every single carry.
You know, it would be nice to see the bold picture and Adrian there. 151 yards to overtake Billy Sims.
Yep. I'd like to see him get 151 and exit stage left.
Colorado has stopped the clock once again. It'll be 4th and inches when we come back after this word from Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Alan Patrick on 4th and inches took a shot, but he's got enough of the first down. This kid, he's put it all out of the field tonight. His 35th carry. Official, they'll give him a yard. He'll be up to 110, but if Thaddeus Washington introduce himself.
They may have to measure this. I mean, where they spotted it, it's pretty close. And you're right. What contact between two downhill guys, a downhill linebacker filling his hole at the line of scrimmage and a downhill runner, Alan Patrick.
Originally, they put it between the 21 and the 20, and then they scooted it back.
You're going to have to take a look at this one and see what they have. That's a tribute to Colorado right there. I mean, they could have not played with that type of tempo, but Thaddeus Washington's got a lot of pride, as does the rest of his defensive teammates.
Now you trust me?
They got it by half a football.
He can't believe it either. What a smile, Thaddeus Washington.
It was about 4th and a half of football, and they got it by a half of football, I mean.
Yeah, there's a freshman in the field now we've heard a lot about, Dave. 5'10", 190-pounder, a true freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. Chris Brown, which is basically a very familiar name to Colorado fans.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a pretty good one there.
They had a pretty good one there, as did the Tennessee Titans. But, yeah, this Chris Brown carries some thump behind his shoulder pads and helmets as well.
Joe John Finley in motion. Brown, he gets the carry. Spinning out, breaking tackles. Not a bad first carry for the true freshman.
You know, that's your instincts in high school, is to bounce it. You always used to be able to outrun guys to the perimeter in high school. And so when you get in trouble at the next level, it's like, okay, well, you know, this worked for me before, let me bounce it. Well, sometimes in the Big 12 it's tougher to bounce, but a lot of people underestimated his speed right there. They ended up taking angles that were short of the intersect point.
So we were here to witness his first career carry. And I got a feeling if he stays healthy, we'll witness a lot. I mean, he is going to get a lot of touches for the Oklahoma Sooners in the future. They also have Moses Madu, another running back they like, as a true freshman. Same tandem in the backfield. Brown. This time, Washington, the corner, who's had a stellar game. Boy, is he going to show up on film for his coaching staff. That's a cornerback, Terry Washington. Well, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 football title game. It's going to be back at a great atmosphere. Arrowhead in Kansas City, Saturday, December 2nd. 5 of the past 6 seasons, Big 12 championship participant. That team played in the BCS national title game. Get your tickets right now. You can go online. Log on, Ticketmaster.com, or call 800-676-5488. 800-676-5488. Saturday, December 2nd. See if it's the barbecue in Kansas City. Boy, we like it there. On third down, little play action to the fullback down the 10, down to the 5. Couldn't get into the end zone, but a nice grab just the same for Dane Zaslaw, the junior from Edmond, Oklahoma, Memorial High School.
Well, Zaslaw had a good block on the touchdown run by Patrick. He did a great job on that as a lead blocker, and now they reward him a little bit with a play action pass to the sideline. So getting him involved, let the big dog eat. If you're going to block well, we'll get you the ball, says Bob Stoops.
And let the clock run. They've got a 1st and goal at the 5. Takes a while to get out of the huddle. Now let's see if they get the snap off in time. Brown stays behind Zaslaw in the 3 tight end formation. It'll be Brown, slowed down. And again off the edge. That time it was the outside backer Brad Jones. And one more snap. It'll be at the 4. It'll be 2nd and goal from there, and our Jack of the Box player of the game. No doubt, no doubt. The work rate he put in tonight against a team, we told you, he's only the 2nd back to go over the last 21 games for better than 100 yards against Colorado.
And they were persistent. You know, he carried the ball for over 30 snaps, which you know, basically precluded him getting those 100 yards, but they diligently stayed after it. Kevin Wilson stayed with the run.
Brown is in, yes. Touchdown in his debut for the Sooners. You think the guys like this freshman a little bit?
I tell you, boy, he pushed the pile there, showed some leg strength. He started smelling that end zone. He got that adrenaline surge. Adrian Peterson likes what he sees. Watch those legs start to churn. Turns it up inside, starts following, and then just back it in. It's a good job. Offensive line comes off the line of scrimmage pretty well. Fullback Zaslaw once again, kind of leading that out into space, nowhere to go. Brown, very, very physical though. Good low center of gravity.
Point after try. Hartley punches that through. Man, it's official. A 23-3 lead and make it 24-3 with the extra point. So the Sooners go to 2-1 in conference play, 5-2 overall. And time now for our Kyocera wireless call of the game. At the 2, it'll be Alan Patrick, short side of the field. He's in. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Now the one positive for Colorado tonight, they did not get shut out. The biggest plus, though, for the Buffaloes, they've got a legitimate defensive unit.
Well, they do, and they played a lot of snaps tonight. I don't know what the number of snaps are against them, but they had to have been on the field 20 more snaps than Oklahoma's defense.
I'll tell you right now, it was 75 over 43, and it was 37-23 on time of possession. So
75 to 43 snaps?
Yes. 43 snaps for 113 yards for Colorado, 75 for 271 for Oklahoma.
Well, you know,
but Oklahoma about 100 yards less per game offensively, and that's the credit to the defensive unit of Colorado.
Right, yeah, Colorado's defense did hang in there tough. I mean, 75 snaps is a full day's work, and to evaluate the tape, it's going to take the defensive coaches twice as long. They'll have twice as many plays to watch.
And it's going to come out. It's going to be Washington, the cornerback, Terry Washington, out to the 17. And one snap and it's over. Lendy Holmes on the special teams coverage. So they'll start the clock as soon as they set the ball.
Right, the new rule.
And let's see if they do get a snap in.
Boy, on that flight back to Boulder, it's going to be, the defense is going to be sleeping well.
So here it goes, and they will get one more snap. And Jackson's going to throw on the final play of the game. And kind of fitting because that's the way it was. It was that tough offensively for Bernard Jackson, 3 of 13 throwing the football for only 39 yards. So the Sooners, they survive and get it together, especially in the second half. Some more continuity offensively. First game without Adrian Peterson this year.
Yeah, and I think Patrick showed himself to be a very physical running back. Is he Adrian Peterson? Of course not. There's only one Adrian Peterson. But can they win with Patrick at tailback? Yes, they can.
So the two coaches meeting, and it's all over homecoming weekend in Norman. Don't forget to join us next week. Our College Football Saturday, all presented by Kyocera, will start first at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. College Football Saturday kickoff presented by Kyocera, and it's followed by number 2 USC at Oregon State. It's all presented in FSN HD. For Dave Lapham, Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us tonight in Norman. The Sooners prevailed 24-3. You've been watching Big 12 football presented by Kyocera on FSN. So long, everybody.
And welcome into the FSN studios. This is your Toyota Truck Big 12 post-game show. I'm Rick Renner alongside the two geniuses, and I use that term loosely. Pat Jones, who's wearing my curtains, looking very good, and of course, the great coach Jackie Sherrill. Oklahoma has had a lot of bumps in the road this year. You had the Rhett Bomar thing, the bad officiating against Oregon, and now playing without arguably the best player in the country in Adrian Peterson. No problem.
Alan Patrick and a good dose of OU defense.
Well, the defense played really well. You know, they started the game in their nickel package, where they took the three defensive ends, put Ahu in the nose guard and played the 2 defensive ends, brought them in a tackle, played their nickel package, and they, first half, they really got after them. They didn't have any yardage
Colorado until the end of the game.
All right, let's show you how it happened on FSN. Oklahoma at home in Norman, taking on Colorado, running back by committee. Sooners playing their first game without that guy, Adrian Peterson. He says he's going to be back for the bowl game, and I bet he will be. First quarter, opening possession, things look great. Alan Patrick, Peterson's replacement, goes 12 yards. OU on the move. Later in the drive, 3rd and goal for OU. Paul Thompson finds Manuel Johnson & Johnson. He scores a 7-0 at that point. The OU defense, you guys talked about it, was really good. The Colorado offense was really bad. Zach Latimer with the pick here. And the Buffaloes had 45 yards of offense in the first half. You can't win games like that. Oklahoma's offense wasn't much better, but they got plenty of help from Colorado. Stephon Robinson with a fumble here, recovered by John Finley. And then Adrian Peterson telling Alan Patrick, take care of the ball. Ball security, that's what it's about. Take care of the ball. And Patrick from 2 yards out, he's in. OU scores the touchdown, and they go on to win this one with ease, 24-3. Oklahoma now hits the road for 2 tough ones at Missouri, then at College Station against A&M. And a very impressive win for the Sooners. Let's kick it back out to Norman. Jim Knox standing by with a happy Bob Stoops.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Big win. You got to be extremely pleased with your defense. Only 5 first downs for Colorado the entire game.
They played great, really, the entire day. And just really pleased for it. We were consistent, solid, tackled well. They came in, they ran the football well, and everybody else, and we were really good against the run and got on, and kept their quarterback in check. He's made a lot of plays on a lot of teams.
Offensively, you mixed the ball around well. Paul Thompson did a nice job, and also Alan Patrick did a nice job in his first start.
Really proud of Alan Patrick. He's sitting right over here, ready to go. And it was so windy. I don't know if people probably couldn't see that watching, but it was hard. We had a lot of drop passes. They had a hard time throwing it as well. And fortunately, we managed the game in a good way and won.
All right. Appreciate the time again, Coach. Best of luck next week. Right now, let's head back to the studio.
Thank you, guys. We'll hear from Alan Patrick in just a minute. AP spelling A-D. Statistically speaking, a lot of defense out there in the chilly weather in Norman, Oklahoma. And, guys, you guys talked about it last week. When OU lost Adrian Peterson, you said there's going to be different parts of the game where they're going to have to step up. They did it on defense today.
No question about it. And really, you got to give Stoops credit because he took the best players, which are the 3 defensive ends, he put them in the game, put Ayu at nose guard, put Thibodeau at 1 defensive tackle or end, and then he put Burr down at the other. And then he put 5 defensive backs in, 3 linebackers. So defensively, they did a great job.
In a way, Pat, this is a defense that we've seen, an aggressive attacking defense that we've come accustomed to with Bob Stoops.
Well, this defense today, they showed up a bit more with sacks, with pressures, with knocking the ball up in the air, with turnovers and those sorts of things. Colorado is a bit limited offensively, but again, you got to give the OU defensive people a lot of credit for just, again, stirring things up a little bit more than we've seen so far this season.
Difficult for that Colorado offense to get going. Now, when you look at it on the other side of the ball, all the talk was about Adrian Peterson not being available, obviously, to play with the broken collarbone last week. But you look at Alan Patrick. Now, in high school, he was called all-out crusher. They didn't crush anybody today, but how do you rate his performance today, Pat?
Oh, you got to give the guy an A. He had over 100 yards. He protected the ball. He's a downhill tough guy. He's not a east-west guy. He's a north-south guy. He's got good vision. Endurance seemed to be a little bit of an issue late in the game because he had over 30 carries. But this guy's a tough guy. It's going to throw himself at him and run downhill repeatedly.
Now, Jackie, you can't be Adrian Peterson, but he filled in well.
Well, not only him, but they had some others. But the good thing that their offense did, they took it away from trying to make plays east and west, and they said, we're going to come right at you. They're going to let the offensive linemen come off the ball, and they did. And they controlled the line of scrimmage of Colorado, and they were able to control the ball and the clock. They had, 70-some-odd plays to 25 plays? That's a lot of difference in plays now.
And talking about those plays and Alan Patrick and his performance, let's hear from Alan Patrick, who's standing by with Jim Knox.
All right, here we are with running back Alan Patrick. Alan, over 100 yards tonight, also over 30 carries. Your first start, how did it feel out there for you?
At first, it kind of got to me, but as the game went on, it kind of eased up for me. So I really appreciate the way my team came out and played and went hard at it and got me the yards I got.
Of course, Adrian Peterson had the broken collarbone, but throughout the game, looking at Adrian, he was giving you words of encouragement. What was he telling you?
Well, you know, even when he was running the ball, you know, we just tell each other what we see on the field or whatnot. But he was telling me how to keep it wide instead of just going back in like I was running inside. He told me to keep it outside and make things happen.
Well, it worked. What do you like better, defense or offense?
Offense put the points on the board, so I'm going to run with offense.
There you go. Congratulations on the nice game. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right now, let's head back to the studio.
A lot of glory on offense. You got to like that. All right, coming up for Oklahoma, 2 huge road games at Missouri, at A&M. We're going to find out what the Sooners are all about.
I think what Jackie said earlier is interesting about what OU had done with their defense was getting those extra ends in there. This is just going to serve them well for the spread, for the speed, for Chase Downs, and what they're going to see at Columbia, Missouri.
No, I think they match up well against Missouri because of the speed. They match up with Texas A&M with their speed. And, you know, the defense is getting better. I went back and broke them down for 2 years, this year, last year. They are the same as they were last year, except putting pressure on the quarterback in sacks.
Interesting stuff. Well, coming up, we got plenty to talk about in the Big 12. Texas Longhorns in a big one, a Big 12 championship preview